Alan, yes, we are connected. Oh, yeah. We were trying out. They had a cord that had sound from the outside, and we were trying it out, but it came across too staticky. So it'll be quiet when we're off. All right, right, bye. Thank you, Alan. Carrie Underwood's doing our intro. Okay, sounds wonderful. All right, Alan, we are on the air. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Thank you, Alan. All right. All right. Appreciate you. 4 minutes. Thank you. Welcome one, welcome all to the Bulldog Bowl in Artesia, where your Hobbs Eagles and the Artesia Bulldogs are getting ready to lock horns, and we have ourselves one heck of a game. Artesia always tends to bring it, don't they, Ty?
Yes, it's going to be an exciting one for the Hobbs Eagles, coming off a 21-0 win against Clovis, a shutout dating back to the early 1970s. Of course, a lot of people always expect Clovis to be one of the top teams in the state. They were ranked 5th in that poll, Max Preps poll last week. Eagles are down at number 8, but they're moving up now and kind of switched the order with Clovis after that big victory. And kind of pretty much owned that game from the start. A couple of starters, about 5 of them weren't playing due to different injuries and other issues on the team, so they didn't get a chance to play in that one. A lot of those will not play tonight as well, but a shutout victory even with 5 starters down, including one of your best offensive players.
And, it says something about the depth, and when you start to build a program, as Coach Stevens is really trying to do here, depth says a lot about what you do. You're going to have a certain percentage of kids that are stars. That happens every year. But when you start to get that depth, when you start to get that next man up mentality, when one person goes down, the next person fills in, and you don't tend to lose a step, that says a lot about the coaching and where they're going.
And a lot of guys getting involved, too, in the backfield. Hobbs over the last several years, but prior to this one, known as more of a pass-happy team. I mean, just let it lie up in the air as much as you can. But the rushing department, we're seeing in kind of a conference by committee here. A lot of guys getting involved. And last week, the Eagles rushed for 169 yards. The leader, Colton Graham, the quarterback, he is a versatile one, too. 8 carries for 73 yards in that victory. Diego Baeza rushed for 37. Corbin Thompson, 24. And a couple other guys in there, Royal. And Van Landingham getting some action, too, behind the ball. So a lot of these guys kind of see what's going to happen. Caden Trevino, of course, is still out. He won't play in this game, but he's another name that will be added to that list hopefully pretty soon. So a lot of guys are having to step up in that running back position. And at the same time, there is some passing going on, too. Colton Graham, 12 of 17 in the air last week for 136 yards. Averaging 11.3 every pass that he throws on the field. Had 1 touchdown reception for his receiving core. That was Easton Kirkendall that got the TD catch for him. And so he ended up with 5 catches for 57 yards in that ball game. A couple other guys, too. Van Landingham had catches for 46. Kirkendall 57, Thompson 20, and Cerna 13. So about 4 or 5 receivers there. They're helping out the mix. Again, Eagles 136 yards in the passing game, 169 in the rushing game. So, again, that 300 mark is what we're looking at there. And that's some pretty impressive numbers against Clovis.
Yeah, Clovis is always stout defensively. And what I really liked about it was the balance because, there's 2 ways to build a team offensively. You can go into it with a balanced attack where nobody knows really what you're going to do, or you can be so good at just one thing that that's all you do. And when you're not absolutely an expert at one style of the game, you need that balance. You need to be able to say, hey, I can throw it, but, hey, you got to watch my run. And it kind of lets you have that little chess match with the defense.
Eagles got touchdowns from Corbin Thompson, Van Landingham had 1, and Kirkendall. Those are the 3 scores of that 21-0 victory. Defensively, a couple linebackers stepping up big for the Eagles. Kenyon Singleton, the junior, had 14 tackles to lead the team. 10 of those were assists. And Aldo Argot, another linebacker, with 12 tackles. 10 of those were assists. And he had a couple for tackles for losses. Eagles had 9 tackles for losses as a team defensively and really coming to the football.
And defensively is where it's at for this squad. You've seen them just completely progress over the course of last year till now defensively and shutting down a Clovis team. I mean, gosh, it's been a long time since we said that we could have done something like that. It really is impressive, and it's nice to see that the kids are playing smart football. And it's not just athletes flying all over the place. They were playing very, very sound football. They weren't giving up the outside runs. They weren't letting people get the cutback lanes. They were making Clovis earn every yard that they got.
But at the same time, of course, you got to remember, too, that when you talk about terms of defense and the deep secondary, they got a brand-new system out there, brand-new players, I should say. A lot of guys graduating seniors from last year, so they're really going to have to step up and help out with this Artesia pass-happy aerial attack.
And that's the thing. This is the opposite side of the balance, is Artesia does one thing, and they do it well. And they bring all of these guys up through this program doing the same thing over and over again. And they've already established their next man up mentality. They've got a new quarterback this year, but, it's something that quarterback's been doing since he was in youth ball, and he's been slinging that thing around. It's second half by the time he gets to this level.
But last week, the Bulldogs losing to Carlsbad 31-6. The Cavemen were up 14-0 in that ball game. Artesia, uncharacteristic 6 turnovers in that game, 3 coming in the first quarter, and 2 of those were interceptions. So definitely getting picked off. Had a lot of problems with some fumbles, giving the ball up deep in the territory, and one led to a touchdown early. They fumbled on their own 11-yard line. Carlsbad able to punch that in pretty quickly after that. Bulldogs didn't even get a touchdown until 1:06 left in the second quarter. They scored off a pass from Nathan Taylor, 26-yard advance. Kaggobasan, they missed the PAT. So other than that, they didn't get anything else after that at halftime. It was 31-6 final. National anthem starting here at the Bulldog Bowl. We'll take a quick break, come back live on Cool 95.7 and on YouTube.
Clear. 3 minutes, please.
You want 1 minute?
2 minutes.
I'm going to give you 1.5 for the anthem.
2 minutes, please. 2 minutes, please.
One minute. $30. $15. 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go.
Welcome back to the Bulldog Bowl. Ty Friend along with Coach Coltrane as the Hobbs Eagles getting ready for game number 2 of the 2021 season after a 21-0 win over Clovis last week. Ready for the Bulldogs here on the road. Second game with the road trip here for the Eagles. We mentioned right before the break, before the anthem, that Artesia losing 31-6 to Carlsbad. Didn't score until about a minute left in the second quarter. Nothing after halftime. That's kind of been a trend lately that Carlsbad's been knocking off Artesia. 2018 was the first time in 5 years that they defeated the Bulldogs, 28-14. Then 2019 was 48-35. And 2020, again this year, or this year, 31-6 the final in that game. So, again, the trend's going that way. Of course, the Eagles have had some success. We mentioned this last year, big victory in the spring, actually a couple months ago, 56-27. Eagles winning by 29 in that game. Back in 2019, though, Artesia won the game big, 62-28. Hobbs won the prior two, 2018 and 17, 42-37 and 56-49. If you go back to 2009, Brian, there's a couple of times where one team has won 2 games in a row like Hobbs, and Artesia will answer with 2 games in a row, but nobody's got to that number 3. Tonight, Eagles with a victory here would be number 2 in a row, and that seems to be the trend we're seeing with these two matching up.
I don't put a lot of credence in any of all that. You know, it's you have athletes come and you have athletes go, so a lot of times there is a sway, in records, unless you've got your program, up and coming where you are in that plug-and-play mode that we talked about earlier. It's something you got to line up on the white marker out there and smash somebody's head in. That's what you got to do, and it doesn't matter what the past says. It's what you're going to do right now that matters.
Again, that 56-27 victory last year. Colton Graham in that contest was doing some good jobs at passing. Only threw 10 times, though, 5 of 10 for 64 yards. The Eagles keeping it mostly on the ground in that ball game. They rushed for 297 yards, just shy of 300 in that game. And one of the top rushers, Colton Graham, the QB, of course, 6 carries for 59 yards. Caden Trevino, just a sophomore last year, had 85 yards on the ground just on 2 carries. He will not play in this game, though. And there were some other guys like Corbin Thompson had 6 carries for 28, but a lot of guys getting a chance to carry the football, 6 to be exact, and ended up again close to 300 yards rushing. And how often have you heard that from Hobbs Eagle football, mostly on the ground game last year?
And that was a big change right there. That was the game where Hobbs really started putting things together and starting to figure out this game, and that's carried over to this season. And we're seeing a whole different way of doing things within the Hobbs Eagles program. We talk about not having those run yards, and that was when they figured out something that worked, and the balance went to one side because that was working over and over again. The other team couldn't stop you, and we have figured out then that we can run the ball if we want to. After that, the balance has been there since, and I really credit the team for improving every week. And something we don't talk about, special teams. Last week, we did not miss a single extra point. And we left a lot of points on the board. We would have had 2 more victories last year had we just made our extra points. And I think that's been a real positive thing. It's nice to see the ball go through the uprights after we score a touchdown.
Hobbs out distance Artesia in the game in terms of yards, 361 to 308 in the spring. So got the big victory, 56-27. But still, Artesia is the type of team, even if you defeat them, they're going to put up some big yards. And also scoring, too. I mean, you see all these wins that Hobbs have had over the few years, the last couple seasons. 56 points last spring in 2018, 42, 56 in 2017. Artesia scored 56 points in one of their victories back in 2016, but it seems like they're always barn burners, over 100 points combined between the two. Does that mean there's no defense out there, or they just know each other so well it's kind of hard to play the D against it?
I think there's defense going out there, but when you start to find something that does work, you can kind of come back to it. A lot of times, you may have a game plan, and that game plan is seems sound when it happens, but somebody finds some little hole in your system, and they can just keep coming back to it whenever you want. It throws your whole defense off of whack because you try to overcompensate one way or another. I think the defense is much better right now. We're seeing Hobbs defense. It's going to be a real test for us. Just that defense against the back did. If we show that we can, pitch a shutout like we did in that game this week, I would be very impressed because it's a completely different style of play. And if we can shut down both the pass and the run, my gosh, this might be a good season for us.
Offensively, last week, Carlsbad really getting the ground game going, which really pushed him into that victory by the 31-6 margin. So Eagles are starting to see some growth going on in the running game, and hopefully that'll be in play tonight. We're going to take our last 60-second break. Hobbs versus Artesia live on Cool 95.7 and YouTube. Come back with us. We'll be back for more Hobbs Eagle football.
Clear.
60, please.
1 minute. You got 30. And 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome back to the Bulldog Bowl. Ty Friend and Brian Coltrane here as we get ready for kickoff. Hobbs is going to be receiving. They'll be working left to right on the radio dial here at the beautiful Bulldog Bowl. I love the Tennessee checkers they have in the end zone. This is absolutely a wonderful place to play, Ty.
Yeah, definitely a lot easier vantage point to see the game. Last week we had the sun right in our face, shining off the glass and right on the horizon behind the other side of the stadium. Tonight it's dark in the stadium already. The lights are on. And back deep for the Hobbs Eagles will be James Moore back about the 1-yard line. So he's ready to return. Eagles will have the first possession of the ball game. And you mentioned special teams of Artesia, well known for some of the trickery they like to pull. We'll see what the Hobbs Eagles have up their sleeves. Also back deep for Hobbs, Hector Armandaris. He's about the 6-yard line on the right hash. On the left side is Ethan Van Landingham. It's a short kick and a roll towards the 30. Artesia slapping on top of it. They've already recovered one, it looks like, on the kick return. Right to see the arrows of the hands here. It looks like they're pointing towards Artesia. They're going to have the football after recovery at the 31-yard line. Already a mistake for the special teams of the Eagles.
Yeah, Jesse LaRoche, the one hustling up the field on that little pooch kick. Took about 2 bounces, hopped in the air, and LaRoche got into a foot race for the ball with one of the up linemen for the Eagles. And unfortunately for the Eagles, LaRoche was able to outrace him.
Again, Artesia known for taking advantage of blood in the water. They like to get take you and score on you once that does happen. They have some great field position to start this one from the 33-yard line of the Eagles. Split formation. We got 2 in the slots. Back to pass. Taylor to the right flat on the screen. Caught at the 35 to the 30. 25, 20, 15, 10. 1 to beat. 5. Touchdown. And that's going to be a 30. Nathan Taylor, a 33-yard pass as he connects on that screen on the right side and hooks up with his receiver, Peyton Greathouse. And already the first TD of the ballgame, a 33-yard screen pass on the right side.
And, a couple of things went wrong on that play from the get-go. The first person missed an easy tackle. They had the guy in the sights, but he overran the receiver. And then the outside back that had the contain went inside of the block, and the block was able to spring him and kicked him out.
Got the swinging gate going on here for the PAT. Artesia known for that. They usually don't throw anything out of it. They'll move back into the regular formation at that point as we wait for the PAT. They lead 6-0 after the screen pass. And kicking for the Bulldogs is Peyton Greathouse. Once again, the guy that just caught the touchdown pass. And his boot just inside the left upright for the point. So Artesia barely into this ball game. Coach, 7 seconds in, they lead 7-0.
Hopefully this really kind of ticks everybody off. You have something happen like that, you can react to it one of 2 ways. You can feel sorry for yourself and break down, or you can get mad and take it out on the other team.
We'll take a 30-second break. Artesia 7, Hobbs nothing. Come back with us in half a minute.
Clear. 30. Ten. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go.
Back live here at the Bulldog Bowl as the Hobbs Eagles trailing early 7-0. Just 7 seconds gone off this first quarter clock after a fumbled kickoff return. Artesia recovering at the 33 of the Eagles, and a little screen pass on their first play from scrimmage in the hands of Greathouse, who also kicked the PAT. So things are going good for the special teams so far. Do you go right back to the well and do it again, though, for this Orange squad?
Absolutely. They're going to try something different. And, obviously the pooch kick worked the first time, so now Hobbs is thinking pooch kick. They'll probably just do either a squib down to the corner or a true onside kick down the line.
So they get that set up, and looks like it'll be Greathouse. Will be kicking off again from the 40, and got a good one down to that left hash on the first kick of the game. This time he'll send a little bit deeper. Wobble duck at the 15, takes a bounce on the right hash, picked up by the Eagles at the 20, 25, spun around at the 30, and down to the 34-yard line. So about a 19-yard return for the Eagles. And Armendariz, the man returning for Hobbs.
Hector Armendariz, good job there. He's a defensive back wide receiver, 5'10". Yeah, the kid really put a lot of effort into that, got north and south, put his head down, got what he could.
So the Eagles are going to try to get back up on the scoreboard here, down 7-0, 11:47 left first quarter. They're wearing the white uniforms, black helmets, and orange and black for Artesia. Ball's at the 34, pretty close to where it was as they give it up on that first kickoff to Artesia, their first to play from scrimmage around that area between the 34 and the 33. Twins left, receiver right. Colton Graham gets a shotgun, fakes the handoff to the slot man right to left, throws the fade route to the far sideline, wide open at the 40, 35, 30, 25, 20 in Artesia territory, and finally put down at the 20.
And that is the way you respond. You come out here mad and slap back in the face. You're not going to let somebody push you down. I think that they saw something on film. They went right to the first play, but they knew he was going to be wide open. It looked like they knew something that they'd seen from film on Saturday.
Van Landingham comes up with it big that time for 44 yards. That will be a first down for the Eagles. So for one in the passing game quickly. They want to get back in this contest. 1st and 10 now from the 21. Shotgun. Graham's going to take it himself up the middle. 20, 15, 10. Left hash 5. He's going to head out towards the left corner and gets into the end zone. Colton Graham, a 21-yard rush. He wants this game tied up quickly.
And a great job reading the offensive line blocks. You know, it was one of them design reads. Quarterback takes the draw. He waits for the blocks to develop, and then hits the hole. Nice job getting outside and making a nice little kick for the end zone.
7-6 now, 11:15 left here in the first quarter. As we talked about in the pregame show, these games tend to be high-scoring affairs as we get ready for that kick for Hobbs. And doing the chores for the Eagles will be Brian Beza. In fact, he's got the same number as the kicker for Artesia, Peyton Greathouse, who scored that touchdown off that screen pass just a few seconds back, and I mean seconds back. High snap, Greathouse. Not Greathouse, for the Eagles, I should say. Beza is able to boot it through the uprights and ties up the score 7-7. 11:15 remaining here in the first quarter, and we're tied up live here at the Bulldog Bowl. Come back with us in 60 seconds on the Hobbs Eagle Network.
You're clear.
Hey, Alan, could you please turn off your microphone in the studio? Because we're getting a major echo effect, please.
$30. $15. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go.
Welcome back to the Bulldog Bowl. 7-7. We got a tie here, and we're just barely into the game with 11:15 on the clock, and Hobbs kicking off. Here's Ty Friend.
Eagles kicking from the 40-yard line. Second game of the season for both these teams. Eagles with a 1-0 record. And here comes the kick by Izzy from the 40. Keeps it low. And it's going to be brought down at the 35, right up the gut and across the 40-yard line. So about a 7-8 yard return for the Bulldogs. And the return man for the orange and black was Peyton Deans. So good field position, not as good as Artesia had on their first series at the Eagle 33, but now at their own 41-yard line. Looks like this thing is going to go back and forth, a tug of war here.
Yeah, you know what? You say that, and all of a sudden both teams settle down. You got a defensive struggle. I think the first series, both teams knew a little trick. Let's see what happens when they have to earn it.
Double slot, shotgun, receivers 2 left, 1 right. High snap, thrown in the left slant to the 45. The ball's fumbled ahead to the 50. We're going to see if they're going to call that a catch first of all, then the fumble. Yes, it is. It's going to be fumbled back to the Eagles at midfield. So major mistake for Artesia.
And you talked about them having 6 turnovers last week. This is the first one of this game. And, you know, they may have a case of fumbleitis. And a lot of times when you have one game where it happens a lot, you get those jitters and you just keep doing it because you're almost clutching too hard.
Andre Alvarado, the linebacker, comes up with a fumble recovery for the Eagles. Fumble ahead by the Bulldogs after about an 8-9 yard pickup. So both teams have comped up the ball 1 apiece. Eagles will have it 1st and 10 from their own 49. They're going to hand off around the right side. And slot back's going to be brought down in the backfield. Going to lose about 5 yards on the play as crashing the line hard that time.
Diego Baeza, the ball carrier there. And, you know, he had a nice inside read, but he tried to bounce it. He bounced it right into a defensive lineman. There was a hole developing on the backside. He just didn't quite get into it.
-3 on the play. So it brings up a 2nd down and 13 from the 46-yard line. Ready for the shotgun. Graham gets it at the 40, rolls left, wants to throw, has a couple receivers left. Now he's going to cut back to the right, loses the defender, comes to the near sideline, throws it on the run on the post route, but overthrows his receiver, who kind of gave up halfway through the route. Thought he saw the ball going a little bit too hard that time, decided not to chase it. Pass was intended down the middle of the field to Ethan Van Landingham. He had some distance between him and his defender, but the ball overthrown.
And, you know, there was another receiver that was in the area, and he tried to cut up field, and he got tackled by 2 Bulldogs, and the throw kind of went fluttering by him, but there was no call on that play. He was tackled while the ball was in the air.
3rd down and 13 now for Hobbs at their 46-yard line. 10:21 left. First quarter, we're tied at 7. The Bulldogs and the Eagles. Graham back in shotgun as one man, Baeza with him on the left shoulder. Twins left and right. Big stun on the line for the Bulldogs. Had 2 guys going, and they pulled back on the line of scrimmage. Eagles want an audible. No, they're going to call timeout instead. Thought they were going to get the play call change there. But Coach Stevens wants to talk to his troops to see what the Bulldogs defense is giving them. We'll take a break as well here at the Bulldog Bowl in Artesia. We're tied 7-7. Back in 30 seconds live on Cool 95.7 and YouTube.
$30. 15. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Back live at the Bulldog Bowl. Artesia and Hobbs going at it. 7-7 your score after an Eagle timeout. 3rd and 13 from their own 46. Receivers 2 on the left and right. Shotgun. Grab back to pass. 3-step drop at the 36. Flushed out of the pocket to the near sideline. Trying to beat 2 defenders and gets tripped down at the 40. He's going to lose 6 on the play. And really, he's so close to the sideline. The receiver's getting kind of pinched on the near side and from the Artesia bench right. And nothing to get open there.
And he actually didn't want to roll out that direction. He tried to spin the other way, but the pressure from the opposite side got upfield and kind of forced him toward the sidelines. He had no place to go.
Eagles have been dropped behind the line of scrimmage a couple of times. Graham and Baeza both for -8. Now a 4th down. And looks like about 19 now for Hobbs. It'll be at the 41 in punt formation. They definitely want to get a good quick kick out of this. Artesia's been having some good field position in the last 2 possessions so far. The punt is away for Hobbs off the side of the foot by Silas Cerna. Fair catch at the 31-yard line near the left hash. Is coming up with it for Artesia was Jake Barrera. So Artesia going to get another chance with the football as they're tied up at 7-7 with 9:32 left here in the first quarter. And that's one thing about the quarterbacks of Artesia. They usually get a lot of time in that backfield to kind of see what's wide open down the field.
Yeah, and, I think that's the biggest key to the game is how to get pressure on them. Sometimes you're going to give up a good big play by blitzing, but you got to get into that quarterback's head and let him know you're coming.
Taylor gets his squad set up at the 30-yard line with 2 receivers left, 1 to the right side. Good high snap, pulls it down, throws a quick curl route to the 35 and near the Artesia sideline. Be about a 7-yard pickup, and coming down with it for Artesia was Randall Hamilton. That's going to give him about 6 on the play.
And a good job by Marcus Palma, the senior defensive back there. That corner came up and made the play, limited the yardage to just what he threw and caught, didn't give anything extra. And that's what you got to do against a team like Artesia.
So Hamilton gets his first catch of the ball game. Currently now 3 for 3 in the passing game is Taylor for a total of 47 yards. 2nd down and 4 from the 37. From the left hash, shotgun. Taylor will hand it off up the middle to Barrera as he angles right towards the middle of the field. And he'll get about 3 on that pickup. Still going to be shy of the first down by a couple.
Yeah, it'll be a 2nd and 2 or 3rd and 2 here. And it'll be one of those plays where they're going to have a design pass just to get them 3 yards. I can't see them trying to go deep or anything right here. They're just going to do a nice little bubble, a screen, something like a drag underneath.
So 3 for Barrera on that one. 3rd down and a long 1 for the Bulldogs. Back up to line of scrimmage at the 39. Taylor's going to take the shotgun, and he got some movement. A defender for the Eagles jumps on the right side of the Artesia line and trying to go across there, and a quick snap was going to happen, but Gavin Brumley's the guy that was in there first. But a couple of receivers on the right side, I think, had a messed up a snap count there in their heads, and they jump off too on the far right. That was Cody Watson for Artesia's receiving core.
And Alonzo Baeza on the line was the one that really committed the one that caused our lineman to jump. He kind of twitched, and our lineman came at him.
So a 5-yard penalty backs him up. 3rd down. Makes it a little bit harder to get that first. That's going to be now 7 that they're going to need to get at the 34. Shotgun, Taylor going to throw another curl route again. It comes in and out of the numbers of the intended receiver on the near sideline at the 42. And that was intended for Barrera on the near side. And a nice job for the Eagles to kind of put a helmet into the back of the numbers there to make sure that ball was coughed out in the area that time. Marcus Palma for Hobbs.
Yeah, Palma did another good job. 2nd time we've said his name today. Once for a nice tackle, and there for just being there right on time.
First incomplete pass for Artesia. 3 for 4 in the passing game. 4th down and 7 from their own 34. Still tied 7-7, 8:09 first quarter here at the Bulldog Bowl in Artesia. Twins left and right. So they're going back to the punt formation at the last second here. And here comes almost a fake. Looked like he was going to run it. Instead puts a high one down. It's going to hit somebody, it looks like, near the 40-yard line. It takes a bounce. And coming up with it for the Eagles on the catch and quickly put down Kenyon Singleton, the linebacker, and Hobbs will have it for about the 38-yard line.
And actually, when that ball hit him in the back, he quickly turned around. He realized that the ball had bounced off him. He made a great play changing directions of getting on that ball before Artesia did.
Hobbs with decent field position, 1st and 10 from their own 38. They have a couple receivers right, one left, split formation backfield, and now the running backs will head out to the receiving core, one on each side. Trips right, twins left, and bring run man in motion left to right. He'll get the football coming on the right side, the hash, 40, 45, and takes the pile ahead for a few more. Close to the first down, trying to drag the pile that time. It's Corbin Thompson getting about 9 on the play, and had some nice upfield blocking on the near sideline. A couple of guys out ahead for him that time, Luke Robinson and Ashton Watley.
And, I think they left a little bit on the plate on that one because he caught up to the lineman. If he'd just slowed down instead of running to the back of a lineman, those linemen would have taken out those blocks that he needed to spring that. And he probably could have got a bunch more.
That's a 9-yard pickup. 2nd down and 1 on the right hash from the 47-yard line for the Eagles. Twins left and right, shotgun. Back to pass, Colton Graham. He's going to get flushed out of the pocket left, heads to the 45, angling to the 50, into Artesia territory, 45, 40, and right out of bounds at the 39. And he'll get the first down and then some for the Eagles, and that's going to be, it looks like, 15 on the pickup.
And what I liked about that's what we call deceptive speed. He wasn't going full speed, and that guy kind of got even with him, was getting ready to make the tackle, and all of a sudden he accelerated out of it. He wasn't much faster than the defensive back. He just kind of rope-a-doped him into thinking that he was caught, and all of a sudden accelerated away.
Of course, last week, Graham led the team in rushing, 8 carries for 73 yards. That's the second first down for Hobbs, now at the Artesia 38. Delay handoff to Thompson up the middle on the left hash, 30. Tries to cut back towards the middle of the field and brought down at the 29-yard line. And he'll come up with another 8.
It's Davian Molina on the tackle there, come from the safety position. He just saved a touchdown. There was nothing between him and the end zone except Molina.
Actually, that was Royal that time. He got 9 on the play. So 2nd down and short from the Artesia 29, middle of the field. Clock down to 6:50 left here in the first. The handoff delay to Royal. He's just going to power straight ahead. Kind of bulldozes a couple of guys and keeps pumping the Pistons there for the first down.
And contact was made just beyond the line of scrimmage. That was about maybe 1 yard beyond the line of scrimmage when he made contact with the defense.
He ends up with 10 on that carry, so 2 for 19 now for Royal. And the third first down for the Eagles, starting to knock at the door as they're getting very close to that 20-yard line. They'll send a couple of receivers right, one left, shotgun. Graham will do a delay. Looks like back to Royal, angling left and tries to cut it back, and he'll meet the rugby pile there. Maybe about a 2-yard pickup on the forward progress, but not much more than that time for Royal.
10 of the 11 orange jerseys got there on that tackle.
So a 2-yard pickup. Seems like the sun's going down a lot sooner tonight than we saw last week with Clovis. The same start time, but not as much glare and craziness that we were having last week trying to see some numbers down there.
We weren't looking into it either.
Right, correct. 2nd down and 8 now for the Eagles at the 19.5 of the Artesia Bulldogs. Near the left hash. Colton gets the shotgun. He's going to just air it out to the far corner over the shoulder. A couple of Artesia defenders there. Looked like they might have straddled the back of the Eagle receiver on that far end zone on the left side. As going up high for it that time was Evan Ortega, but he got sandwiched between 2 orange Oreos out there.
Yeah, there was great coverage on that one. I'm not sure that was a throw that you want to throw into. I mean, he was covered the whole way, and the safety was able to get over there also.
Eagles 1 of 3 in the passing department for 45 yards. Of course, the big connection for an earlier play coming to the receiver, Easton Kirkendall. Back to pass, Graham, pump fakes. He's going to still stay in the pocket right now. He's going to get squashed from behind and dropped at the 27-yard line. So a big loss on the play that time. He's going to lose about 8.
And, he tucked it, and he was rolling out. He just didn't realize that the back lineman wasn't able to hold that block. He had time and protection. Nobody was open.
So that's going to go back to the 31. Let's see, maybe how many yards did he lose on that one? Looks like about 10 yards for Graham. He's been dropped twice, minus 15, but he's also gained a play for 15, so he's evened out here. Hobbs with a big decision now at the 4th down and about 16 to deal with. What do you do in this case? Coach Stevens kind of giving signals to his team to get back in the huddle.
I don't think we have that kind of distance from our kicker, so we're probably going to try to go for it here.
As we wait to see what they're going to do, a 4th down and 16 and a little delay action here. And I think Coach Stevens might be burning another timeout here in the first quarter. Nope, he's just trying to get them to look over to the sideline. But they did reset the field clock there. Oh, there's a penalty. They're going to call against the Eagles on the
delay
front
a
line.
game, and that's what he's getting mad about is that they're not resetting it fast enough. He already complained once about that before.
5-yard penalty for the Eagles, the first of the game. There's been one for Artesia for 5 as well. 4:37 left opening quarter, and we are tied at 7-7. Ball's at the 34-yard line. Eagles are starting to go backwards now. 4th and 22 from that 34.
We're already down to 7 on this clock.
Colton Graham waiting for the shot. Twins right and left. Rolls right. Wants to throw. The out route. Catch coming back at the 20. Making the 22. That's going to be well short of the first down.
And Artesia gets the stop here. But we're keeping the territory game in our favor as Artesia's not going to start with great field position.
As that going to be turned over on downs, James Moore is able to snag that pass that time. But the Eagles not going to have enough for the first down. They needed to get 17, and they ended up about 11 or 12 on that one.
And I think this is a big series here. If we get another stop here, and like I said earlier, it turns into a defensive struggle. If Artesia comes down and scores, then we're going to have to get ourselves in gear on offense.
Artesia 1st and 10 from the 20. Throw the out route quickly on the near sideline. Overthrows the receiver to the Artesia bench as that was intended for Cody Watson. Incomplete.
Good coverage again from Palma over there, and he ended up getting a little bit of help from Jose Nevarez.
Artesia now 3 for 5 in the passing game, again for 47 yards. 2nd down and 10. Ball at the 22-yard line. We're still tied at 7-7. Artesia getting a fumble recovery on the kickoff, and Hobbs returning the favor. The 45-yard pass as they connected to Brian Baeza. Back to pass, throwing the out route, and well overthrown because getting almost sacked in the backfield and clobbered back there is getting in for the Eagles against Taylor that time. Kenyon Singleton, the linebacker, put a wallop on the quarterback.
Singleton hitting the A-gap on a fire blitz, and nobody touched him. Put his helmet right square in the chest. Quarterback's going to feel that one tomorrow.
That'll stop the clock off the incomplete pass to the sideline. 4:25 left first quarter, still 7-7. And back to the 22 to go the Bulldogs. 3rd down and 10. 2 incomplete passes in a row. They'll send 3 receivers right, 1 to the left side, short. Back in shotgun goes Taylor. Taking some time with the snap. 3-step drop. Throws a little screen to the left sideline. Caught by the running back at the 25. He's buried quickly. So it looks like he gets about 3 on that play as he comes up with the snag, and then pulling it down with Jake Pereira.
And Palmer was the first one to get there, and Palmer kind of swung around him, held him up. Singleton came up to clean up the mess.
2nd catch for Pereira, total of 11 yards. Artesia 4 of 7 now in the passing game, and they're in a punt situation, but you can never just automatically say punt for Artesia.
Yeah, they like to pull some tricks, don't they?
4th down and 6 now from the 26. Go back to the punt formation. Waiting for the snap. It's a low one. He had to get down on his knees to get it and gets a high one kicked off anyway. That is Peyton Deans. Ball takes a big Artesia roll. Scooped up by the Eagles to the 24 in traffic. Trying to spin from right to left and getting dropped on the right hash. Was about a -2 on the return that time. Thought he might have seen a little bit of space, but he gets swallowed up quickly. That was James Moore. And kind of a dangerous scoop as that ball was getting a big roll for Artesia up the middle of the field.
I think the special teams coach has got his finger out saying, come here, James, we need to have a talk.
But Hobbs will get the ball back with 3:33 left here in the opening quarter, tied up at 7. Have it at their own 22-yard line. Not the best area to have the football compared to their other starts in this first quarter, but still a tied ball game. Eagles will not get into that huddle. They'll just look to the sideline for the play call. They'll put a pair of receivers left and right. Graham in the backfield as he awaits for that shotgun snap. He's got Baeza with him. Taking a long time on the count. Give it to Baeza on the right side. Fakes it, throw to the right to the 25, 30. Baeza gets bulldozed out of bounds. Out close to the 30-yard line. Looks like 7 on the carry. Make it 8 for Baeza.
And that was all quickness. Baeza actually outran his lineman to the corner. They had a pulling guard from the opposite side that didn't get there. Baeza ran right by him, got 8 yards on that one.
Close to the 30-yard line now with a 2nd down and 2. 5 yards on the ground for Baeza on 2 carries. Graham back in shotgun again. Gives to Baeza up the middle this time. Breaks a tackle and lunges forward as he gets out to the 34-yard line. Needed to get about 2, and he gets 3 instead.
And they kind of made a shoestring tackle there. Baeza breaks that tackle. he had a little outside hop he could have taken. He'd have gone a long way.
Well, the go-ahead block going out there is now injured. They're going to have to take some time to get the trainer out here for the Eagles. The man down for Hobbs, who look like he's holding a knee right now, Josh Ray. Just a sophomore, too. Got some good size at 6'3", and it looks like it might be his left leg.
Yeah, he was pointing toward his foot, and they're immediately talking about the ankle. He was trying to put weight on it and couldn't get up.
He's got all of his linemen right there in the vicinity. They don't like to see one of their guys go down like that, and he was one of the lead blockers on that last play. And trainer's out in the field now, as you mentioned, checking that left ankle, and definitely the location of the injury. We're going to take a quick break. 2:57 left first quarter. Hobbs and the Artesia Bulldogs tied at 7. Come back with us in 60 seconds.
You're clear. $30. $15. 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome back to the Bulldog Bowl. 7-7, your score here. 2:57 left in the first quarter. Hobbs Eagles on the prowl. Here's Ty Friend.
Again, they just had the injury, and coming off the field now, Josh Ray, as they'll have it 1st and 10, as Brian mentioned, from the 38, or making the 34-yard line. Man in motion from right to left, gets the football, comes around the far side, and tries to spin back, breaks a tackle to 30, spins in the middle of the field to 35, but meets a big orange wall there, and trying to get back to line of scrimmage. A lot of second efforts that time, but unfortunately couldn't advance it. Van Landingham, the man with the football, and it looks like he might get – maybe they give him some forward progress, maybe back to line of scrimmage. A lot of pinball action in the backfield, though.
I tell you what, Van Landingham made something out of nothing. They had that thing contained. He bounced off of the defensive end and got him bottled up. For him to get back to the line of scrimmage, that was quite a task.
So back to the 33.5-yard line he goes. 2:13 left here in the first quarter, 2nd down and 10. Twins left and right, back to pass. Colton Graham, little flinch. Now he's going to throw down the middle on the post route. Caught at the 45, breaking a tackle. 50, 45 of the Bulldogs, 40, near sideline, 35, 30, 25, 20. One to beat, 15, and knocked out at the 11-yard line.
Great pass and catch there, and the run after the catch was absolutely spectacular. Eagles now threatening.
We got a penalty marker late on the play. That was Corbin Thompson, the man with the football. We'll see if maybe there was possibly a block that wasn't supposed to have happened there. We're going to see where that goes. So started at the 31.
And what had happened, the blocker was blocking the defender. The defender spun as he was blocking him, so it ended up being a block in the back. But the initial block was not a block in the back, but it ended up becoming that.
So it turns into a 31-yard pass play after the penalty for Thompson. So definitely a big play regardless for the running back.
And I think statistically he gets the whole pass, and then you just take off the penalty yards. It doesn't count against him in the stats.
That's the 10 yards for the penalty on the illegal block. 15 total yards for the Eagles now on the handkerchiefs, just 2 so far. And that'll be a first down. That is their 4th of the ball game at the 35 of the Bulldogs. Graham fakes the handoff, rolls right, wants to throw. Taking his time, going to the 35, heads to the sideline, and gets upended with his knees taken out, and he gets about a 2-yard pickup, maybe 3 on the forward progress near the Artesia right sideline.
And about the 10-yard line in the middle of the field is a wide open Hobbs Eagle. He didn't see him because he's kind of rolling out there and running the opposite direction. But, yeah, if he looks to the backside, he might have had a touchdown.
Ball's at the 33 now of the Bulldogs on the right hash. Eagles at a 2nd down and 7, tied up at 7 with 1:15 ticking here in this first quarter. Eagles are bring 2 receivers left, one to the right side. And Graham having some words for his left receivers now. Waits for the snap. Going to hand it off up the middle. Cutting left is Baez at 30. 25, lost the football back at the 30. Picks it up, scoops 25, 20. Far sideline left and is going to get the first down, but kind of a broken mistake there as he's still able to get about 13 on the carry. And, again, that good state of mind to get back after he fumbled the football behind him.
Yeah, and you're picking it up on the run like that. That's no easy task. I mean, he makes the mistake dropping it in the first place, but, he erases the mistake by making a spectacular play to get outside on that.
So 13 yards of first down. That's their 5th. 1st and 10 now from the 19. The handoff up the middle and tried to zigzag around up the gut there on the left hash. That's going to be about a 5-yard pickup. Thompson's the carrier on that one.
And he earned every yard of that one. You can see he's kind of holding himself a little bit as he gets up and gets out of there.
Thompson now with 3 carries for 27 yards. They're averaging 9 a pop. As they'll put the ball now at the 15-yard line of the Bulldogs. 2nd down and 5 for the Eagles, trying to break this 7-7 tie. Looks like they'll get one more playoff here in the first quarter with just 18 seconds remaining. Twins right, receiver 1 to the left. Split formation backfield, shotgun, Graham. Delay handoff up the middle to Baez. It breaks the tackle, 10-5, sliding home to the left hash, and he'll get the first down plus. Needed to get to the 10, and he's going to get more than that. Looks like 9 total for the carry on that one.
First down occurs, and that'll end up being the end of the quarter as time expires. Your score here, Hobbs Eagles tied with the Bulldogs 7-7. We'll be back after the 60 seconds here on
Cole 95.7, and let me do
$30. $15. 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go.
We head to the second quarter here at the Bulldog Bowl in Artesia. Tie friend Coach Brian Coltrane as the Eagles and the Bulldogs knotted up at 7-7. All the scoring coming in that first quarter, as it will be both teams making a march down to the other side of the field now. Second game of the season, Eagles 21-0, winners over Clovis last week, and Artesia losing to Carlsbad 31-6, that big Eddy County battle. First down and goal from the 6, shotgun for Graham, fakes this throw right, hands off left, and trying to beat a couple defenders to the near side, but getting spun down to the turf to Royal. As Royal is going to get, looks like about, they're going to get him back possibly the line of scrimmage, so I guess he didn't get any really forward progress on that one. No gain on the play for Royal. That's his 4th carry for 21 yards total. The Eagles knocking at the door, though, with a 2nd down and goal from the 6. They cannot get another first down on this drive. Would like to get some points on the scoreboard, though. Split formation backfield, Twins right, receiver left. Delay handoff up the middle. And a big pile up there at the line of scrimmage, so not much forward progress going there either. Hobbs having some trouble. They went to the left of last time and now up the middle, and getting stopped at that line of scrimmage was Corbin Thompson.
Something you never want to see when your running back's getting tackled is 5 linemen looking back and seeing the play happen.
So 2 back-to-back of no gains on the play for Thompson and Royal. And now a 3rd down. Oh, wait a second. They might have given him, they did give him some forward progress on that one. So he's going to get 3. Waiting for the placement of the ball there. The Eagles are going to shift a bunch of receivers to the right. 4, in fact, a quad look. 1 receiver left. Shotgun for Graham by himself. Rolls right off the shot to the 10. Throws it to the right corner of the end zone. The ball was thrown low. They're going to say it was a little bit too low. Hits the checkerboard there. And trying to dive down low to dig it out for the Eagles was James Moore. Oh, actually, Diego Baeza down in the middle part or right side of the end zone. And had to get a shovel out to try to pull that one up.
Looks like we're going to bring the kicker out, and we're going to go ahead and attempt a field goal here.
Eagles 2 for 4 in the passing game for 76 yards.
When was the last time you remember a Hobbs Eagles field goal?
Yeah, it's been quite a long time. He'll kick it from the left hash. And back to kick for the Eagles is Easton Kirkendall. It's going to be from the 11, a 21-yard field goal. It rolls on the ground, picked up for the Eagles, and tried to chase into the end zone, but getting knocked down at the 2-yard line. Not to get the score. pretty much all you can do on a 2nd and goal.
Van Landingham.
Yep, Van Landingham did the best he could. He did gain about 2 on the play, but he was trying to get to the end zone after a bad snap.
And, sometimes you try to do what you can with a bad situation, but, special teams, that was 3 points we just left on the board.
So we've got a 7-7 ball game, and both teams look like they're just trying to wait to see who's going to make the mistake and get some easy points on there. But kind of a back-and-forth battle going on like we saw last week for at least part of the ball game.
Artesia has a long way to go. The question is, do you blitz here?
Yeah, you just got to be careful. They got some good receivers. A long pass reception, you're definitely out of the hole. Shotgun in the middle to Taylor of the end zone. He tries to throw a quick throw, a dangerous one in the left flat, back of the end zone, actually 2 yards into the end zone. As they try to get that one out on the dump over there to Cody Watson. The Eagles had a couple of guys in the area that time kind of licking their chops. Thought they might have a pick for a couple yards for a touchdown there.
I'm trying to see who the down lineman was that got to the quarterback because he put a nice lick on him at the end of that play.
Isaiah Montez was in there to try to break up the pass in the end zone. 2nd down and 10. Taylor will get the shotgun snap, throws it quick out to the 6-yard line.
And this next play is going to be a big one. You got a 3rd and short situation. You know they'd have to punt if they didn't get it. So the question is, what do you do here? You're going to bring the guys up, play some bump and run, try to prevent the short pass, make them go long. You got a lot of things that you can do in your repertoire, but not giving up 5 yards here is what you're trying to achieve.
Gave Lopez 5 on that quick out. Now at the 12-yard line, going to be a 3rd down and 5 for the Bulldogs, deep in their own territory. Twins trips left, Twins right, shotgun. Taylor by himself at the 1-yard line. Another out route and the throw to the 12. They needed to get to the 11, so that should be enough for the 1st down. 5-yard pickup, and that's going to be complete to Jake Barrera, the running back coming out of the backfield.
And the defensive line did something interesting there. They didn't really push up on the pressure. They waited and then tried to jump up and knock the ball down. They weren't really attempting to get to the quarterback on that one because they knew it was going to be a short throw.
2nd first down for the Bulldogs. 3rd catch for Barrera for 16 yards. That's a 6th completion for Artesia. 1st and 10 from the 11. Go the handoff up the middle. Had 3 receivers right. Not going to throw on that one. And big pile up at the line of scrimmage, but they will get about 3 as they drug a pile that time. That's Barrera once again. He's pretty much the go-to guy in the running game, although just 2 carries so far for 6 yards. 2nd down and 6, so they give him 4 on that one. Ball now at the 11-yard line. Shotgun high. Taylor's going to stay in the pocket. He's going to fire it down the near sideline, just a dart throw, and a couple of receivers pacing each other going down the field. The last guy to try to get a hand up there on the near sideline was Zayden Lopez, but overthrows both of his receivers, who had a little bit of distance between the defenders back there for the Eagles on that near sideline.
They had about 2 yards on him. I think the defenders have been seeing that short ball so much they were kind of playing up, and they tried to stink that long ball in there, but he wasn't accurate on the throw.
Bulldogs 6 of 10 in the passing game so far for 62 yards. And now facing a 3rd and 7 from their own 15-yard line of the Bulldogs. Pair of receivers left and right. 4 in the box for the Eagles with a gap in the middle. Back to pass Taylor. Throws an out route to the 25. It keeps going back to that one. And that looks like it's going to be enough for the 1st down. 12-yard pickup. And that's going to be complete for the Bulldogs on that near sideline in front of the Artesia bench to Lopez.
And Palma's been playing off a bit, so they keep throwing underneath Palma. He's playing smart, though, not missing the tackles.
Hurry up offense. 1st and 10 from the 25 from the right hash. Flags are flying everywhere, and might have been some quick movement on the line. It is a false start for Artesia. That'll be their 2nd penalty of the ball game for 10 yards total.
And the Artesia coaching staff can't be happy with that. They had something going, got a couple of 1st downs right there, got themselves out of the back of the end zone. Then they just start marching backwards.
1st and 15 now from the 20 on the right hash. Bulldog receivers 2 left, 2 right on the short side. Taylor gets a snap. Throws a slant route to the 25. Ball caught. And coming across the 30. So get back some of the penalty yardage there and then some. That's going to be an 11-yard pickup as Greathouse comes up with a catch.
And that was the right place to go with that. He sensed where the blitz was coming, and he went the same direction as the blitz location.
2 catches for 44 yards for Greathouse. They're going to hurry it up again. 2nd down and 3 at the 33. A hard snap. It's going to go over the head and then retracted by the quarterback. Actually got some help that time. I think Barrera came up with it as diving on the turf to help out his quarterback, Taylor, as the ball went a little bit above his head that time and just couldn't get the grip he wanted.
forces a 3rd and 12 situation. So Hobbs defense has got them backed up. We just need to keep it in front of you.
It's about a 3-yard loss on the play. Fortunately for Artesia, that goes against the quarterback.
And this is where down and distance becomes very important. As a defensive back, you need to know how far they need to get. You need to keep it in front of you. If you're a receiver, you're thinking the same thing. I got to get that extra yard, find out where the post is.
Ball's on the right hash at the 24. 3rd down and 11 for the Bulldogs in front of their bench. Left on the right side. 2 receivers right and left. Back to pass. Taylor going to throw a fade route wide open at the 50-yard line to the 40 of the Eagles. 30, far sideline, 20, 15, 10, 5, and down to the 1-yard line. So they couldn't get all the way, but getting pretty close on that one.
And that is busted coverage all the way. Somebody did not know where their man was. And, the safety ends up running him down and tackle him at the 1. But good hustle on the play. Unfortunately for the Eagles, they give up a whole lot of yardage, and now Artesia's threatening.
72-yard pass play on that one to Rodriguez. And that'll be a 4th first down for the Bulldogs. It'll be their 9th reception, and they're knocking at the door of the Eagles at the 3.5. He was left wide open, as you mentioned, and just waiting for the football on that far side. So inside the 5-yard line, quick snap, coming up the middle, using the blocking is Taylor, trying to quarterback sneak it up the gut, and rugby scrum is there to stop with the Hobbs Eagles. Bunch of guys in there. First guy that made some contact for Hobbs with the low helmet, Gavin Brumley from the defensive line.
The defensive front line did a good job of standing up the Artesia offensive line. The question is, can you do this 2 more times?
That was Peyton Deans that got 2 yards on the carry, so they're knocking even closer now to the 1. 2nd down and goal. High snap, rolling around left, and try to cut back and get close to the end zone here. It was Deans again taking the quick snap. He's not the starting quarterback, but he got it a couple of times back-to-back, and this time into the end zone.
And it was probably what they call their wildcat quarterback. He probably come in specifically to run the ball in that situation. And, it's they got him behind the line. They actually hit him about 1 yard deep behind the line. But unfortunately, you got to make the tackle and not just make the hit.
So Deans came in, 2 carries for 3 yards, 1 a touchdown for 1 out. Swinging gate formation for the Bulldogs here in the PAT. They lead 13-7, breaking a first quarter tie, and they're having some issues with their. They had their tee set way too far back at the 20 for some reason. They had to go chase it down, and a lot of time being taken here. It's down to 5 seconds on that field clock. They might not even get this kick off in time. Referees have to adjust and sprint back there. They get the snap. Kick is up for Greathouse, and it is no good. So a little bit too much of a rush job at the end there as the tee was not where it needed to be, and they missed their only PAT last week in that 31-6 loss to Carlsbad. But right now they do have a 13-7 lead over the Eagles. 6:57 left here in the second quarter. We're coming back live on Cool 95.7 and YouTube in 30 seconds.
You are clear. $15. 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go.
Welcome back to the Bulldog Bowl. It is 13-7, Artesia leading Hobbs, and Hobbs getting ready to receive the football on the kickoff here. We've already seen Artesia do a couple of tricks on the kickoff. What do you expect here, Ty?
Well, you don't want to give Hobbs any good field position at this point because we're kind of seeing this teeter-totter effect here. When we're going to take it for a long amount of time, then the other team's going to do that. Last week, Carlsbad, their first drive against Artesia was over 6 minutes. They were very effective at keeping the ball up and down the field. So, again, if you're going to do something, you want to have a little bit of a distance on. I don't think you want to keep it around midfield and make the Eagles chase it back a little bit.
This is a game as a chess match right now, and I think the first coaching staff that figures out something they can consistently do is probably going to come out victorious.
So getting ready for the kickoff here, 13-7 in favor of Artesia, and they do put a little bit of air this time, end over end. Take a drop at the 15, picked up for the Eagles, brought across the 20 to the middle. And getting tripped up quickly and going down, helmet into the turf that time, and probably ended up on the ground more because of his trip than the tackle on that one. Return man was Ethan Van Landingham for about 8 yards.
So the Hobbs Eagles starting, way back in field position compared to where they normally start. They need to get a sustained drive. The running attack's been good. When they've kept it on the ground, they've been eating up 6, 8, 7, getting lots of good carries. But when they've gone to the passing, it's been inconsistent. It's either feast or famine for them.
They're back up to the line now, trailing 13-7, 6:53 left in the half with the 24 of their own. Twins left and right, back to pass. Graham out of the shotgun, steps up in the pocket, and now he's going to get knocked down from behind. He'll be dropped at the 21, going to lose about 3 yards on the play. Well, he didn't have much of a chance to get away from the pressure.
He had a man open in the left flat. Royal was out there, his running back that kind of ran a little screen kind of pass on the outside without the blocks. Just a little flare. And unfortunately, he didn't see him.
Seth Johnson, the man that ends up getting the sack from behind, a 2-yard loss. Going to move back to the 23-yard line. 6:18 and ticking here in the second. Graham back in shotgun. He's got a pair of receivers left and right. Running back goes to his right shoulder, waiting for that snap. Brings a man in motion. That's Royal. Fakes the handoff to him. Back to pass. Graham will dump it in the left flat. Good one-hand catch on the 20-yard line, but gets bulldozed by the Bulldogs. So that's still going to be in the backfield, although a nice fingertip catch to make sure it didn't get picked off.
Yeah, and the Artesia defender was able to slough off the block. Offensive lineman got out there on the screen, engaged the defender, but was unable to lock him up and put him to the ground. He was just kind of brushed him off, said Olay, and let the guy go through.
2-yard loss, even though it was a catch by Royal. And 3rd down and 15 now for the Eagles at their own 20-yard line, trailing by 6. On the left hash, shotgun to Graham. Comeback route, caught at the 15 to the right hash of the 20, and that's back to the line of scrimmage. So a lot of lateral work here for the receiving corps, but not getting the ball pushed forward like they want to. And that's going to be, I don't even know if that's going to be a gain on that one as the catch made for the Eagles by Easton Kirkendall.
And something I'm going to say here is every now and then you figure out the other team's signals. We may need to go to our second set because it looks like they're jumping the passes. They were pressing on that on that screen pass all the way in a 3rd and long situation where they normally wouldn't pressure. It's almost as if they knew the play.
4th down situation, 4th and 14 now for the Eagles, and a late man coming on for Hobbs in that far receiver position. Long snap count, being a man in motion left to right. Low snap, and the kick will be away. It's toward the 50-yard line. Actually be caught earlier at the 45, 40, near side, 35 in Hobbs Eagle territory. About a 15-yard return for Jake Barrera, the running back of the Bulldogs, getting them into orange and black territory, or Hobbs territory at the 34-yard line. So some great field position, and you don't want to go down 2 touchdowns at this point as we're getting closer to the halftime mark.
Yeah, you're right about that, and you talk about special teams. We talked about it. We've already had a field goal that ended up resulting in a loss of 4th downs, and now we have a punt that nets us about 8 yards.
1st and 10 from the 34. The Bulldogs in Hobbs territory. Shotgun to Taylor. He throws a dump to the near side, caught and brought across the 30. About an 8-yard pickup that time. And the man that makes the catch for the Bulldogs is Zayden Lopez. 8-yard pickup for Lopez.
Hobbs Eagles did an okay job of getting there. It didn't miss the tackle, but unfortunately you can't be giving up 7-8 yards of play and hope that you're going to get a stop.
Lopez with 3 catches for 25 yards. It's the 10th reception for the Bulldogs on 14 attempts. 2nd down and 3 now from the Eagle 27. Shotgun to Taylor. Fakes the handoff up the middle. Turns and fires. The fade route picked off almost at the 12. Boy, just getting it in his fingertips on the near sideline here was you could just taste the 6 possibly up the sideline. Probably would have made it the whole way. But
Jordan Chisholm on the coverage of the safety.
Yeah, he stepped right through the pass play, which just basically a fade to the near sideline for the incomplete.
I think he was trying to get his feet down as he touched the ball there.
3rd down and short. They tried to do a draw play, and we got flags flying right after the snap.
Offensive lineman on the left side, 2 of them jumped.
That'll be a 5-yard penalty for Artesia. That's their 15 yards they've been issued so far in the first half on those 3 penalties. Eagles have been hit twice for 15. And that'll back them up to the 32. 3rd down and 8 now for Artesia, who leads 13-7 with 3:49 remaining here in the second quarter.
Knowing that they need 8 yards, do you bring the blitz here?
I don't know. We saw some receiver get open here earlier in a long pass for the Bulldogs. Definitely don't want to have that happen. That was towards that left flat. Back to pass. Taylor. He's going to throw the curl route, caught at the 25, and tries to cut it back from left to right, but he goes down right at the 25. That's going to be close to the first down. He tried to fall forward at the last second.
Yeah. And, I think we got ourselves a very nice spot because one referee was standing at the 21, the other referee at the 25. He looked down that line and went with the one at the 25.
Greathouse got 8 yards on that one, so 52 yards on 3 catches. And going to be short by about a half a yard at the 25-yard line.
Here comes the Wildcat run from the quarterback.
4th and short. Bulldogs with the pair receivers left and right. There's going to be a timeout. Coach Maupin wants to talk to the troops. Very important play here. I think he wants to keep this drive alive. I don't know if you'd be happy with just a 6-point lead going towards halftime.
Yeah, I was actually looking at the trips on the far side because the middle receiver had nobody covering him. And you only need a yard. So, a quick screen right there, you get 2 blocks. He has a seam straight to the end zone. I think that we may have had a missed coverage. I'm surprised we didn't call a timeout there.
3:11 left here in the second. 13-7 Artesia will come back in 30 seconds on the Hobbs Eagle Network.
You are clear. $15, 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
3:11 left, second quarter. Eagles trail Artesia 13-7. 4th and short for the Bulldogs near the right hash into Hobbs Eagle territory. Less than a yard to get. Receiver right and left. Split formation backfield. Shotgun. Taylor's going to roll around left with the tuck and try to dive ahead. We got a flag from the backfield coming from the Whitecap official head ref, and that was trying to fall forward for the yard, but that was going to be close even too, so we're going to have to wait and see. If he didn't make it, they could just decline this penalty and get the ball back here, Brian.
Yeah, it's going to be close. We may have to measure before we make the decision.
Waiting to see a signal here from the officials.
And they're already signaled first down Eagles.
Looks like it's probably going to be a penalty on Artesia. They're just going to decline it. I don't think he got it. He was supposed to get about half a yard. Looks like a legal block by the Bulldogs, and that's going to be declined. And so no gain on the play there for
and they
quarterback
didn't wait
Taylor.
To measure, so I guess it was actually short enough that they could see it very easily.
So that'll give it back to the Eagles on downs. And now Hobbs football at the 25, but I think it's very critical to get some more points on the scoreboard.
3:07 on the clock. You got to do something.
1st and 10 from the 20. Twins left and right. Man in motion going left. Shotgun. Graham going to step up. Flushes out to the right to the 25 to the far sideline. Gets tripped up from behind. It looks like he's going to get 3. Stays in bounds, so the clock will run.
And I think he tucked that one a little bit too soon. He could have stepped up in the pocket, avoided that. He had open receivers, but he's hearing feet, and he's trying to run.
And could not get to the sideline. Got a foot sweep, ankle sweep there from behind that time to take him down. So a 3-yard pickup for Graham. And that'll bring up a 2nd down and 7 now from the 27-yard line. Eagles trail by 6 with 2:30 left in the half. 2 receivers right, 1 left. Graham with the shotgun brings the slot in motion right to left. Hand up the middle to the 30, 35. Right in the middle of the football field that time.
And I know that we got, when we run the ball, we got the clock moving, but we're moving the ball when we run the ball. And I really want to see us keep it on the ground more. Maybe not this drive, but certainly in the second half.
That was Baeza on the carry, gets 7. And that'll move the chains for the Eagles. Their 6th first down. 1st and 10 from the 36. The whole front defensive line for Artesia jumping offside, so very good job of count there, a hard count to get that extra 5 added to the numbers.
Yeah, sometimes you go with that hard count, and you got to keep them honest. If they don't know if you're going on 1 or 2, boy, they don't get jumps on you.
4 penalties for 20 yards. That one a defensive offside. They'll mark it at the 40.5-yard line. Brings up still a 1st down as the Eagles will step up. Twins left and right. Trying to get some more points on here before the half. 150 and counting. Man in motion left to right. They give it off to the right side. To the slot man to the 45. Another penalty from the backfield. That's going to be a block for the Eagles, the kind that you don't want.
Yeah, and it's probably behind the play at that point. By the time the flag was thrown, they were past everything. So it happened at a place that really didn't affect the end result of the play.
That was Royal that got the handoff and kind of angled to the far right sideline for about 3 or 4 yards on the play, but they called a hold, so that's going to come on back as the Eagles get hit up for their third penalty of the game for 25 total here in the first half. Clock will stop with 1:48 left here in the second. A 13-7 lead for Artesia. Coming with an 0-1 record. The Eagles at 1-0. Of course, Hobbs next week, homecoming Friday night. They'll be playing Roswell at the Hobbs Eagle Watson Stadium.
I'd love them to come back to that play they opened the game with on offense.
First down and 15 now for the Eagles. They hand it off to the right hash of the 35, 40, and a diving ahead, picking up some of that penalty yardage and then some, a 6-yard pickup.
Clock's moving. They need to go quickly.
Actually, a bit more than that, I should say. That's going to be about 9 yards on the gain. Brings up a 2nd down and 7. Shotgun, Graham back to pass from the 33. Throws it down to the 40-yard line. Just a straight seam route there, and ricochets off the hands of his receiver down at the 40-yard line of the Bulldogs.
And the receiver stopped running there. You know, he had about 3 yards on the defender. Had he continued on in the seam, he probably could have delivered that ball a little easier.
Pass intended for Thompson that time. So that's going to stop the clock, though, with 1:18, so that's one saving grace there.
Critical 3rd down here. You got to get 6.
From the 40, shotgun, Graham back to pass at the 33 on the right hash. Tries to throw the out route, intercepted the 40, 35, 30, 25, 15, 10, 5, and close to the pylon on the left side of the end zone. And it looks like that will be it. I don't think they got in the end zone that time, but the pickoff out on the far sideline. And the man that picks it off for Artesia was Pacheco. And that will be orange and black right at the goal line. That's exactly what you did not want to happen. Now Artesia can go up by double digits here at the half.
Turnovers are never good. It was the second one of the game for us, and both times, first time we paid for it with a score, and it looks like it may happen again.
Now fumble on the opening kickoff. Gave the ball to the Artesia Bulldogs, who eventually scored, and now that pickoff on that far sideline. So that's going to give a close distance here for the Bulldogs. 1:06 left, second quarter. Artesia up 13-7. Twins left and right. Taylor's going to go option to the right side of the 5 and into the end zone, and that appears to be the typical running back there for Artesia as Barrera gets it, and he gets a 1-yard option run, and the Eagles just kind of waiting back at the goal line and not coming up quick enough to make the stop.
Here's where Artesia goes for 2. They'll line up and do something strange in their nice little swinging gate.
A couple of their touchdowns have been just 1 yard. Deans had it a few minutes ago, and now Barrera with the 1-yard run. Swinging gate coming on for the Bulldogs, who lead 19-7. So here they go, getting back to their regular formation now. Missed the last PAT. As Greathouse a kick for the Bulldogs. Waiting for that snap, high one. Gets it down, the kick is up, and it is good. 1:01 left here in the first half. The interception brought back to the 1-yard line for the Bulldogs, and then scoring off an option flicked out to Barrera, and it's a 20-7 ball game in favor of Artesia. We'll come back with you in 30 seconds on Cool 95.7 and YouTube.
30, and I'm going to do an ID, so that's 11. You got 40. $20 to you. $10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go.
Kickoff for the Artesia Bulldogs, who lead 20-7. Moore fumbles the return at the 5. Little bit of a fake starburst there. Looks like Moore's going to keep it to the 10, far side 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 2 to beat, 40, 45, 50, cuts back, and is brought down in Artesia territory, thrown ahead at the 40-yard line. So about a 55-yard return. And maybe Moore did get rid of that at the last second. No, he did. He was the guy that had it. He did a good fake with it as he head to the far sideline. And gets it deep in Artesia territory. We said this before. We wanted to score prior to that interception, but this time we're down by double digits, so it's kind of imperative that we get some more motivation points on the scoreboard.
Yeah, you're in a situation where you're in their territory 44 seconds. You got to get something out of this.
1st and 10 from the 40, right on the 40-yard line on the right hash. 44 seconds left in the half. Twins right, receiver left. Graham gets a shotgun, 4-step drop, close to the 50, steps up on the right hash. And now he's going to get shut down from behind. He'll lose a yard on the play, and that pocket is closing quickly, Coach.
And it's that backside. It's that right tackle position. He comes just right around him on a little speed rush, and the right tackle just couldn't keep up with him.
Graham's been dropped 4 times in the backfield so far. And that time they're going to actually say that was a -2 instead of a -1. So worse than what I thought. Timeout called. Eagles going to talk about it. They trail 20-7 with 36 seconds left here in the second. And how important was that interception for Artesia's state of mind?
That's, just absolutely a game changer right there. Whole different ball game when you're up by 6 as opposed to being up by, 13.
We've talked about this year after year, too. I mean, you give a few mistakes to Artesia, they tend to capitalize on those.
Yeah, and most turnovers end up resulting in points. Turnovers are one of the biggest keys to winning any game. And I want to say in the NFL that there's some statistic that the team that wins the turnover battle wins something like 84% of the games. So I think that's really telling.
2nd down and 12 after the timeout. Eagle football at the Artesia 42 on the right hash. Trips left, receiver right. Shotgun, Graham going to roll left near the Bulldog, middle of the field. Gets a lot of pressure. He's going to roll back to the right now. Takes it himself, 45, 40, and slides to the 41. Not sure you wanted to do that with the clock running to 25. Gets a 1-yard pickup on the play. But the clock's going to run down to 20. See if they're going to call the time. They might have burned their last timeout, or did they? They have one left here possibly. Yep. There'll be a timeout on the field. Actually, there's an injured Artesia player. That's why they're going to stop the game, and he's writhing in pain back at the 45 of Artesia.
And one of those things that right now, if they didn't call a timeout on the field, it's an injury timeout, you should probably be lined up and ready to go because as soon as they get that guy off the field, they're going to start that clock.
Whole team is huddled near the far sideline in front of the Hobbs Eagle bench. Of course, the Taskervich band, or should I say the marching band here from Hobbs tonight. And pretty good contingent of Eagles fans there on the other side of the field.
Hobbs band traveling tonight.
That's what I just said.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. It's
I
nice
said Taskervich first, but I meant the marching band there.
Well,
got the echo effect going on here.
There you go.
3rd down and 8 from the 38-yard line. Still the injured Artesia Bulldog. I'm not going to announce that till we actually see the number. He's flat on his back at this point, and a couple of trainers out there. That game next week's going to be a big one for Hobbs against Roswell, who a couple of years ago had that state championship. Kind of down the last season or so. Of course, COVID's been a lot to do with that, I'm sure. But they're playing Lovington tonight on our sister station, KZOR, so we'll try to get you a score update on that as quickly as we can. But of course, Roswell loves to play in the Wool Bowl and another big stadium, just like this Bulldog Bowl. And, of course, Watson Stadium well liked as well when teams get a chance to play in it. That'll be our first home game of the season. Again, homecoming next week. So parade at 4 o'clock on Friday, followed by the game kickoff at 7 o'clock. But have all the action right here on Cool 95.7 and YouTube. Long delay on the field. We're going to take another break. 19 seconds left in the second. Eagles trail 20-7. Come back with us in 60 seconds.
Clear. $30. 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome back to the Bulldog Bowl, 20-7. The Artesia Bulldogs leading your Hobbs Eagles, and you still got the young man down on the field. Of course, you know it's one of those situations. We've seen him move. You know, you're kind of concerned for any young man that's down. But anytime you have an injury like this, you know, you want to make sure you take your time and get it right because young man's health is at stake.
Yeah, I don't see the actual golf cart or anything coming out yet, so I'm not sure. They're maybe just waiting to see if they can get him moved off. But we do have a score update coming from the Roswell-Lovington game, thanks to Shane Williams back there in Hobbs. Texting me the score. Lovington trailing right now to Roswell 10-0. Of course, Wildcats coming off that close win on the road to Santa Teresa last week. 14-6, I think, was the final, or 14-8, one of those two. But, again, they claim to be the state champs from last year, of course, and came to Watson Stadium, knocked off the Eagles last spring.
And, you know, that's a very talented team. It's one of those teams that lately has been kind of reloading instead of just having to retool. And you win a state championship, you get that ring. You know, you have a generation of players following it that know what that's like and see that and want that as a part of what they do. So you kind of get people working hard behind them because of it.
So this delay continues. Still the training staff down working with this Artesia Bulldog player near midfield as looks like a couple of the Hobbs Eagles are talking to the Whitecap at this point and just kind of hoping that this kid will be able to get up and have some help off to the sideline here.
And they've got him sitting up. That's a good sign. You know, if it was something really severe, if they felt like they were going to have to transport him, they wouldn't have him sitting up like that. So he is injured. I mean, this is probably a pretty significant injury for him, but it's not something that they're so concerned that they're probably going to transport him.
Typical, you see the stingers. I mean, those things that tend to feel like really dug a nerve out of the back or the neck area, and it takes a little bit, about a week or so to get those to recover somewhat. But still, those can to feel like you got a devastating injury. And like you said, now they're getting him up, so that's a good sign. Fans from both sides applauding his return to his feet here. He's going to be helped off, though, by his couple of coaches in the training staff. And the injured Artesia Bulldog is Mark Munoz, a senior defensive lineman for the Orange and Black, and he is going off aided at this point. We're going to take another 30-second break as the Eagles trail 20-7, 19 seconds left here in the second.
Clear. $15, 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Back to live action, a third down and 8 from the 38. Eagles going to go with a simple dive and an angle right towards the far sideline. I don't know if they got out of bounds or not. They needed to get 8, but they end up with about 1 or 2, and I'm not quite sure. Besides trying to get out of bounds on that one, not a lot of positive yards on that play. And it looks like that's all they're going to give him on that one.
They're going to call a timeout to stop the clock, using up their last one, and probably try to figure out how to pitch it in the end zone from here.
And I believe that was Royal on the carry, so he's going to get, looks like a little bit more than that, 3 yards total for Royal. And stops the clock, 9 seconds remaining here as 4th down and 5. So, I guess the first down's only not going to matter with just 9 seconds. I mean, you could get a first down, but that really doesn't help matters much.
Don't have a way to stop the clock. You have to get a first down out of bounds.
Right.
And all you're doing is getting yourself a little closer. Might as well just chunk it, try a little miracle here and just flutter it up and hope somebody comes down with it.
Of course, the other option, too, is if you get the first down, they'll stop the clock for the chains, but then that's going to be probably 3 seconds remaining and probably just not that much of a time to get that ball snapped. So 9 seconds left on this clock as we get down towards halftime. Eagles at the 36 of the Bulldogs, down by 13. Ready for that shotgun snap. Graham back to pass, 3-step drop at the right hash. Pump fakes, throws the fade right to the 20, overthrows his receiver off the fingertips, close to the 15-yard line. He got around his defenders on this far near sideline on the left and just kind of brushing off the end of his fingertips.
That was Royal that they intended to go to out of the backfield. He was wide open, too, and would have had a chance to make at least one play he made one move, he might have ended up in the end zone.
Yeah, that'll end the downs as well. That's the second time that's happened to the Eagles. And now it's going to get 4 seconds for the Bulldogs just to probably kneel it down and be happy with a 13-point lead, all aided by a big interception, also a 72-yard pass, too, as that really helped out their cause. They connected to Julian Rodriguez, did the Bulldogs, and kind of jump-started that offense. So 4 seconds left here in the second. Bulldog ball, 1st and 10 from the 36. Waiting for that snap. Taylor's going to pass it. He's going to roll left to the far sideline in front of the Hobbs Eagle bench. Lets it fly on the far side. Receiver falls down at the Eagle 30. Now a late flag coming in. Looked like the receiver actually fell before he got tangled in the feet of the Eagles. 2 defenders with him, double coverage on that far sideline. And I think that was mostly incidental contact going on there. There's a Bulldog down. He might have got his ankle turned a little bit on that one. That's at the 28-yard line. And boy, that means one more play for the Bulldogs on top of that, even though the clocks are at 0 at this point.
Yeah, that's one of those things. That receiver falls down, and he ends up becoming elongated on the ground. He trips up the defender. I mean, really, the defender tripped over somebody that was on the ground. I don't know about that.
Sorry, I said it was down. They want to get the ball down there. It says basically, it's not the NFL. 15-yard penalty. 4th penalty though for the Eagles. That's a costly one though. 40 yards total in this first half. That's going to move them into Eagle territory at the 49. So that'll give Taylor another opportunity to probably chuck it long and try to add on to their 13-point lead.
Yeah, how about a fire blitz right here? Send some linebacker, try to get into the face of the quarterback.
They've got 4 on the line right now for the Eagles. By himself is Taylor. 2-step drop out of the shotgun. He's going to roll left or make it right. Going to fire it down to the right part of the end zone and barely gets past the receiver. About 2 yards into the end zone. Completely beat the Eagles down that near sideline. They had 3 defenders back there, and that was just about a whisker away from being caught over the shoulder for a touchdown. And Eagles have been down by worse than what they've got right now at 13.
Yeah, they were beat. And there was no reason for them to be beat. I mean, gosh, you're playing so far off of somebody. All you got to do is turn and run with them. And, you got to get better coverage here in the second half.
That will finish up the first half of action as Artesia leads 20-7 over the Eagles, up by 13. We're going to take a 3-minute break and you cut up on the numbers of the first half as you're listening live to Hobbs Eagle Football on Cool 95.7 and YouTube on the internet.
Clear, and you got 3. Two and a half. Two. One and a half. One minute. 30. $15. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go.
Welcome back to the Bulldog Bowl here in Artesia as the home Artesia Bulldogs lead 20-7 over your Hobbs Eagles. And in terms of the scoring in this game, it was Artesia opening up the contest. A 33-yard pass from Taylor to Greathouse, 7-0 early in this game after a fumble on the kickoff return for the Eagles to get the game going. Hobbs returned the favor, though, on a 15-yard run from the quarterback Colton Graham to tie it up at 7-7. That was the score at the end of the first. Second quarter, Artesia got a 1-yard run as they got the lead at that point, and that was from Deans. They missed the PAT, and then a little bit later, it was after an interception, also a big pass to Rodriguez for 72 yards. Barrera finished up with a 1-yard run, the running back, and they led 20-7 at that point. That was a major interception that kind of deflated the Eagles for a little bit of time there. That long pass as well to Rodriguez for 72 yards also helped the Artesia cause. But, again, it was pretty close throughout that first quarter. Game ain't over yet, though, Coach, with just a 13-point Artesia lead and a couple of mistakes, which is typical. If you give those up to Artesia, they're going to try to make you pay for them.
Absolutely. You know, that's the thing is turnovers are the biggest factor in whether you win or lose a game. At this point, they're winning the turnover battle, and thus you're winning the game. 2 turnovers ended up equaling 13 points, and guess what the lead is right now?
Yep, definitely. And that's something you're going to talk about at halftime. Make good decisions out there. I mean, if you're going to be on the kick return team, you got to make sure that you keep your eyes on the football, and that's definitely what's going to be a situation there to try to take care of business. We're going to take another time out here at halftime. 10:20 remaining, ticking on the clock as the Artesia band is out on the field. Eagles trail the Bulldogs 20-7. We'll be back in 3 minutes live on Cool 95.7 and YouTube.
You are clear. You got 3. Two and a half. Two. One and a half. One minute. $30. 15, 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome back to Artesia. The score is Artesia 20, Hobbs 7, as the Artesia band has just come off the field here. 7 minutes left here in halftime before we get second half action. And I really start to think about the keys in the second half. Hobbs moved the ball, and they moved the ball well on the ground. And I think they're going to have to stick to the ground attack in order to get back in this game. Unfortunately, when you do that, it does burn a lot of clock, and that presents a problem for the Eagles because they've been very one-dimensional today. The passing game's not been there. What do the stats look like, Ty?
Well, at this point, actually, the Eagles are outdistancing Artesia in the numbers on the yardage, 199 to 179. But let's get down to the nitty-gritty here with the individual looks. Not a big rushing night for Artesia at this point, but they're not really well known for rushing, in fact, in most circles. But Barrera, their leading rusher, just 3 carries for 8 yards at this point. Did have a 1-yard touchdown run. Also, Dean's coming off the sideline for a couple of runs for 3 yards, one of those 1 yard for a touchdown. And their quarterback, Taylor, is in the negatives right now, -3. So not a lot of running game attacks. A lot of times the Bulldogs over the years have kind of gone to the running game, a little bit of a draw and an option. We've seen a little bit of that tonight, but not what you normally would see against the Eagles. They usually pull out all those running tricks that they usually don't do throughout the rest of the season. But tonight they've been only held to 8 yards in total rushing offense at this point. So that's a plus in the Eagles' defensive cap there. Passing department, they've had about 5 receivers get involved in this one so far. Greathouse, 3 catches for 52 yards. He had a 33-yard reception for a TD off a screen pass. Also another double-digit for 11. So he's the leader at this point. Also with some catches for the Bulldogs include Zayden Lopez. He's had 3 catches for 25 yards. Barrera coming out of the backfield, 3 for 16. Hamilton had 1 snag for 6 yards. And Rodriguez had the biggest catch of the night for 72 yards and getting well into Hobbs Eagle territory. So he really got the spark of the Artesia offense on that catch. Currently, they are 11 of 17 in the passing game for Taylor. 4 first downs so far in the first half. They've fumbled once to give it up to the Eagles, turn it over on downs. 4 penalties for 20 yards total, and a total of 179 yards, 8 rushing and 171 passing in the first half. For your Hobbs Eagles, so far 6 rushers at this point. The leader is Thompson, Corbin Thompson, 5 carries for 37 yards. Jory Royal has 5 carries for 24. Colton Graham, the QB, 9 for 17. Baeza with 5 for 24. Kirkendall had 1 carry for 2 yards, and those are all with the positive yardage so far for the Eagles. 104 on the ground in terms of the first half of action for Hobbs, and they have carried the football so far 26 times. On the passing game, Eagles have converted 5 of their 9 attempts in the air. The big catches so far from Thompson. He had 2 for 86, a 41-yarder and a 45-yarder. Also another catch for the Eagles from Ethan Van Landingham. He got 1 for 10 yards. And one other catch for positive yardage. Easton Kirkendall had 1 for 2. And that pretty much wraps up the passing. Again, 5 of 9 so far for 95 yards. Eagles with 199 yards in the first half. We mentioned 179 for Artesia, but they do have a 13-point lead. Eagles have punted a couple of times, gave it over on downs a couple of times, fumbled, and had a big interception. 4 penalties so far for 40 yards and 6 first downs, and they do have 2 more than Artesia, who had 4 in the first half. So some positive things going on for Hobbs in different areas there, but again, what really matters is the scoreboard. They have a 13-point deficit to deal with.
Even though you have extra yards, you know, when you have an 8-yard punt, that doesn't flip the field, and when you have 2 turnovers, neither time does that flip the field in your favor. And so that's the key to the game is, you know, is how much pressure you're putting on one side of that field, and those 2 turnovers in that punt really put us in a hole.
So 20-7 halftime score, about 3 minutes away from the clock to go to 0. Then they'll add those 3-minute warm-up periods, as they always love to do. So we will take a break. We'll take it for 3 minutes and come back live here at the Bulldog Bowl in Artesia. Eagles down by 13.
You're clear. You got 3. 2.5. One and a half. One minute. Sorry, now you have 1 minute. Thirty. 15. 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go.
Welcome back to the Bulldog Bowl in Artesia. 20-7 your score. The Artesia Bulldogs up on the Hobbs Eagles. Halftime has ended. Both teams getting their 3-minute warm-up period, and they're back on the field. And the band's welcoming their team back, as well as the fans. You know, the second half, Ty, you know, trailing by 13, you're going to have to score early and often and find ways to get stops. Yeah, I really look at this team and say, you know, we're built for that. We can throw the ball decently. We can run the ball decently. The offense is there. We got to find some way to get some stops on Artesia on the opposite side of the ball. You know, I'm thinking we're going to have to try to bring up the coverage and bump and run and force them to try to throw it over top of us. May give up something big, but gives you a better opportunity to get stops.
Yeah, we mentioned even in the pregame show, too, you know, Artesia tends to get a lot of time to throw the football. Luckily, their quarterback isn't throwing really a propensity to take off with it too much. If that was the case, that might hurt us even worse. But so far, you know, they kind of the type of team that likes to pick you apart. Got receivers doing a lot of things. You can flood to one side. Got the out routes at different stages that the quarterback can work with. Sometimes they've been going down the middle a little bit on post routes, but a lot of screens going on too. That's something gets to the outsides.
You know, our first series, you saw us. We brought the heat on. And we read the screens. We brought, you know, defensive backs up. But then all of a sudden we kind of back way off. We're giving them a lot of space, and we're not bringing the heat from the linebackers anymore. We're trying to drop those linebackers in that you know, little curl area where the Y receiver would try to run to, and they're not throwing it in that area. They're hitting those little outside routes. They're going over top. I really think at this point we probably need to bring some linebacker pressure. Probably going to have to come up and do a little bit of more man-to-man coverage, bump and run a little bit, maybe even a cover one with a free safety to kind of give them some support over the top. But I think we got to get in that quarterback's head and force him to get rid of the ball early.
Of course, Coach Stevens knew that he had to kind of regroup with his secondary with a lot of graduates from last year, and a lot of young guys are back there. But again, this is the actual test of the year right now when you play an Artesia team that's looking for any of their 1, 2, or third to look out there as a quarterback rolling out and seeing what receivers he has to offer. There's always a bunch of guys in orange waiting for the football.
Yeah, and you know they put 5 guys out there in routes every play. You know, they don't you know, try to bring extra blockers in. Those 5 linemen are the only ones doing it. And what they do is if you do blitz, they tend to throw toward the blitz. So you're going to have to counter and like maybe do some cloud coverage where you rotate guys into that area and you read that play and hope to get lucky and get a pick 6 there.
Got some Lee County scorers around the area. Roswell leads Lovington at halftime. That's in Lovington tonight, 10-0. So the Coyotes coming in and trying to upend the 1-0 record of the Wildcats after beating Santa Teresa last week. Also going on, a big lead for Raton. That's a team that beat Eunice last week, 35-0. Raton is leading over Jowl 21-0 at the half. And I'm kind of wondering, a lot of these Lee County teams hooking up with Raton. I know you were living up in that area for a little bit. What's the magnetic force there?
I don't know. I mean, I can see a reason why to go to Raton. It's beautiful up there in the mountains, and you get a nice scenery. It's nice and cool up there this time of year. Can't see any reason why Raton would want to come down and play in Lee
This
County.
one's in Raton, though.
Yeah.
They played down in Eunice last week. Now Jowl's up there in Raton tonight. 21-0. Raton leads at the half in that one. Eunice and Estancia in a thunderstorm delay. I know there's a lot of storms coming through the Albuquerque and north areas, central and north up in New Mexico here over the weekend, so I'm sure that's what's affecting that. And then Tatum is at Fort Sumner tomorrow at 1 o'clock. We'll have that on our No Mark broadcasting station. So, again, lots of Lee County games we'll keep it caught up on. The one right here, Hobbs trying to get on the comeback, down 20-7 as we're ready for a kickoff, but it will be Artesia who will return. Hopefully maybe they get a turnover on this kick return, as unfortunately hit the Eagles to start the ball game. So we're ready for the kickoff from the 40-yard line. It's going to go back deep. It's going to roll to 5 and go into the end zone, the automatic touchback, and a little bit of an attempt to go after it just for a second there, but he decided at the last minute, nope, I'm not going to waste my time. That was Peyton Greathouse. He does got some speed. We mentioned that he was a first touchdown for a 33-yard screen pass in the first quarter after the Eagles did give the ball up on a turnover on the special teams to get the game going. So 20-yard line is where the Bulldogs would go. They told the referee to move it. He had it in the center, and they told him to move it to the right hash. They're doing a lot of their plays, or a lot of their plays have ended up being real close to the Artesia sideline for much of that first half, I noticed.
Yeah, there's a lot of teams that do that. They want to keep things on the sideline so they can talk to people, they can see things, they can talk to the referees on that side too.
So 1st and 10 from the 20, ready for the shotgun as Taylor brings a man in motion right to left. Barrera heads up the gut with it after the handoff, and angling to the left to the middle of the field. He's going to get about 3 yards, and that's about it for him.
Yeah, and that was, Artesia saying, hey, we're going to keep the ball in the field here. We're going to try to run the clock. We got a 13-point lead, so, we want to keep that clock rolling on you.
Jesus Maganda, the defensive lineman there, was tracking him down towards the middle of the football field. They give him 3 on the carry. I make it 4 now, actually, for Barrera. He's got 4 carries for 12 yards. 2nd down and 6 from the 24. 13-point lead for the Bulldogs. Twins right and left. Make the handoff, rolling right is Taylor. He wants to tuck it and go to the 25, and he gets shoulder pad to shoulder pad and knocked out of bounds. And some great, a great angle on that one that time. And I believe that for the Eagles was the linebacker Kenyon Singleton.
No, it was not. It was It was Palma, number 24. Marcus Palma come up and said, "Hey, nice to meet you."
And it was right on the shoulder pad and completely knocked the quarterback off his balance that time, but he stayed on his feet, but he went out of bounds immediately, and looks like no gain on the play for Taylor. And that pretty much stopped him from getting any positive yardage.
Absolutely. And he's over there talking to the coach to get the play, and he was bouncing up and down. He's in a lot of pain.
3rd down and 6, 24-yard line for the Bulldogs on the right hash. Trips left, 2 receivers right. Back to pass, 1-step drop for Taylor, slides right, throws the out route. We've been seeing that the whole big game so far. Looks like the receiver was too far off to the sideline on the right side. Came up with the catch, but was right in front of his bench that time. Didn't get his foot down that he needed. That was intended for Zayden Lopez, but going to be called incomplete for being too far out.
That brings up a 4th down. Artesia is going to be forced to punt.
They're 11 of 18 in the passing game now. 11-10 left, 3rd quarter, 20-7. Artesia leads by 13. A late lineman coming in for Artesia. That is Jeremiah Gonzalez to help out with the punting chores. 4 on the front line for the Eagles. They got 1 back deep, and it's a bad snap all the way back to the 5. You had to chase it back. Gets rid of it. Kind of a air ball there as it bounces at the 45 of the Bulldogs. Takes an Artesia roll, though, and it's going to come shy of the 50-yard line and stop at the 49. So the Eagles are going to have some great field position, and basically that's all caused by a long wobbly snap over the head of the punter.
I got a little update on that Eunice game. They haven't even started the game yet. They are still under the rain delay and have not even got underway over there.
Yep, up in Artesia tonight. A couple teams from Lee County traveling long. Raton, of course, right on the border there of Colorado for that game for Jal, who's trailing 21-0 at the half. 1st and 10 for the Eagles in Artesia territory from the 49. Bring a man in motion. Going to hand the football off around the right end to Royal to the 50, to the right hash, try to get to the 45, and he'll get, looks like, 4 yards on the carry. That's actually Baeza that time, who picks up the 4 positive and continues to move into Artesia territory.
I love it. They keep it on the ground, get nice positive yards. It looks good when they do that.
6 carries for 28 yards for Baeza, now right at the 45-yard line.
I'm not sure that was Baeza. Whoever it is injured. They barely get to the sidelines, but it was a receiver that had the ball. It was a little jet sweep off the receiver position.
Yeah, he's in bad shape at this point. Looks like it might have been a pulled muscle in the back of the leg that time. They're going to go at the handoff up the middle. We got flags flying from every angle that time. They're doing the cross in the backfield. It looks like it's going to go against the Eagles for some type of procedure or something in the backfield.
Both receivers, both slot receivers on each side of the ball decided to go in motion. And little mix-up there. Somebody wasn't supposed to go.
Yeah, and sometimes they don't really have to stop the action on it if it's a procedure or a legal motion. Yeah, they got a legal motion there. You can get the play go if you want. Sometimes they'll stop it just for safety reasons, and a lot of confusion out there. A 5-yard penalty against the Eagles. That's going to be a total of 5 in this ball game now.
Yeah, that waste of play. I mean, you have a nice run for 5 yards, and you go ahead and erase it.
So 5 penalties for 45 total for Hobbs. That'll back him up right to the 50-yard line, midfield. 2nd down and 11 now for Hobbs. Twins left and right on the receivers. Graham waiting for the shotgun, middle of the field. Hands it off in the middle of the Bulldog. But no, he actually takes it himself. Fake handoff, rolls right, and tucks it and goes across the right hash to the 44-yard line, trying to get back some of those penalty yards. And that's going to be 7 yards for Colton Graham on a nice fake first.
Yeah, a nice little double G counter over there. You brought both guards along the outside, kick the end, get behind the other guard, tuck, and push forward for about 8 yards.
10 carries for 24 now for Graham. 3rd down and a long 3 now at the Artesia 42. And the handoff up the middle and getting plowed hard and maybe gets to the line of scrimmage. That's going to be Royal that time. And that's going to be a 2-yard pickup as Pacheco wraps him up for the Bulldogs. 6 carries for 26 yards now for Royal. So we've seen 3 ball carriers so far in this 3rd quarter for the Eagles, trailing by 13 with 9:18 left here in the 3rd.
Here comes the hard count.
4th down and 2 now from the Artesia 42. Everybody's going to pull out of their stance, look over at the sideline. Twins left and right, shotgun to Graham, delay handoff to Royal. Heads right across the hash, breaks a tackle, 35-30, and will have the 1st down and then some. Looks like 13 for Royal. And that'll move the chains for the Eagles. Their 7th 1st down, 2 carries in a row for Royal for 15 in this half and 39 overall on the ground.
And did a great job there. And I tell you what, Graham got behind him and said, hey, we're getting this 1st down. He put 2 hands on the back of Royal and shoved him across the 1st down marker.
1st and 10 from the 30 at the hash, right side, Twins left and right. Again, a handoff to Royal. He's just going to slice through the line to the 25, down to the 22, and he continues to just plow straight ahead, sees little gaps, and gets the speed moving there. And he's getting another 8, or make it 9 now for Royal on that one.
Which is what I was talking about at halftime. They're not able to stop us on the run. We're getting 6-7 yard gashes. Might as well stick with it.
He just matched his first half numbers, 24 here in the second half, make it 48 overall. Hand off around the right end, 20, bounces off, 15-10, and is run out of bounds at the 7-yard line. So he gets the 1st down. Going to be 15 on the carry for Royal, and a good job of seeing a little space on the outside and then bounced out there.
I love the stiff arm. The defensive end actually tried to get paws on him, kind of got the stiff arm on him, and the defensive end couldn't take him down.
8 first downs for the Eagles as Royal continues to eat up the yardage for Hobbs, 37 in the second half and 61 overall. Give again to Royal and kind of going to the well a little bit, maybe too many times in a row, but he tries to get back to the line on the give.
I've seen Coach Stevens do that when he was down in Eunice quite a bit. He finds a play he likes. He'll run it until you figure out how to stop it.
Let's see if they give him maybe a yard on that one. And it'll bring up a second down and goal now at the 9-yard line. Knock at the door of the Eagles, down 20-7. Boy, we have a blitz coming around the left end. Looked like that was that a safety or corner coming around there, but he was about 3 yards in the backfield and no snap for the Eagles.
Have a feeling that's a penalty, sir.
5 penalties for 25 total for Artesia. That's just half the distance. They'll bring it up to the, looks like the 4-yard line now. As Hobbs down 20-7 with 7:55 remaining here in the third. Game 2 of the 2021 season. Split formation backfield. Twins left and right. Shotgun to Graham. He's back at the 8. He's going to hand off the ball. And, oh, boy, the Orange read that one good. They just stand up straight and come right at the chest of Royal. And he meets that Orange crush wall. And I don't think he's even going to get back to line of scrimmage.
Yeah, lost about half a yard on that one, third down. At this point, I would love to see if you are going to pass it and kind of a roll out to the wide side of the field. Or at this point, maybe you'd go back to that jet sweep, something outside.
So loss of a yard back to the 5. Third down and goal. No first downs available here on this drive. Pair of receivers right and left for Graham in the backfield. Waits for the shotgun. Slot back kind of stumbled. Fakes the handoff to him. Rolls right to Graham. He's got 2 defenders after him, and one rips it back, and he's still on his feet back at the 25 and just chucks it towards the right side of the end zone there, but well out of bounds. And I almost thought he might have got his face mask ripped, or at least part of the helmet or something, because looked like his head got yanked, and he was heading to the far right sideline and got knocked back another 15 yards. It might have been a penalty late on this play here,
I don't
Coach.
know. They're talking about something. What are they talking about?
I'm hoping it'd be maybe a face mask, but Whitecap is kind of backpedaling now at the 20. I'm not sure what he's doing with the ball.
He's telling you that we want the penalty from where the spot was, not from where the play started, not from the spot.
He did about a 10-yard backpedal on that far sideline. Now he's throwing it back to his umpire at the 5, waiting for the signal. Double check down on the field what he's got here.
No, I don't think there was a signal.
Was there actual flag on the field or not? Now a timeout is called by the officials. The line judge on the far sideline is going to come in and talk to his partners here. Whitecap is going to call now a timeout called by the Eagles. But do we have a penalty there or not? I'm not sure what
we
transpired
have shenanigans. There. We have shenanigans.
Coach Moffat's going to check out now with the Whitecap, wanting to know what that was about. I don't see any handkerchiefs on the field at this point, and they do have 4th down marks, so I guess maybe they just picked up a flag.
Pass. Yeah, well, there was no flag thrown.
Yeah.
That was what it is. They had discussions, but there was actually no laundry on the field whatsoever.
But I just don't know he had the ball. The Whitecap had the ball and kind of backed up and for about 15 yards, and he ran up a little bit and threw it back to the umpire.
And he was standing there like he was about to mark something off.
Right. So maybe he thought he might have stepped out of bounds over there possibly. That could have been the issue. But, again, regardless, it's 4th down and goal from the 5. Eagles used a timeout, and now they'll have it on the right hash.
This may be the biggest play of the game right here.
And that's why the timeout was burned. He had to burn a couple. Coach Stevens did in the first quarter as he tried to get his team to move down the field. They'll send 3 receivers left, actually 2 and a tight end, and a shotgun split formation backfield. 3-step drop for Graham. He's going to air it down the left side of the end zone on the out route, and they have a flop on the ground, and for a second the Eagles thought there might have been a push in the back, but they're not going to get that one. Getting sprawled out on the carpet that time on the left side of the end zone was Van Landingham. He might have got his feet caught up as he was running that little kind of a drag to the left side of the end zone. It looked like his foot might have popped up back and hit the defender behind him, and he went flat on the ground.
Yeah, and you know what? This is the second time that they've gotten a stop within the 5-yard line range where it was turned over on downs. Hobbs Eagles have left basically 14 points on the board, not being able to punch it in.
Eagles are 5 of 10 right now, and ironically, Coach, that was their numbers from last year's game. They went 5 and 10 in the complete ball game for 64 yards in the air, but of course, a lot more game left here with 7 minutes left, third quarter. Defense might get a shot here to get the Artesia back in that end zone. It's a 1st down and 10 from the 4. Taylor's going to throw the slant route to the 10, 15 to the left hash, and to the 17-yard line. Going to be a 13-yard pickup for the Bulldogs on the quick route.
And, if you're going to blitz that outside corner like that, you need the linebacker to slide into that curl position. You can take away the slant.
Greathouse catches that one. That's his 4th catch for 65 yards. 1st down, the Bulldogs, they're 5th at the 15-yard line. The handoff up the middle. Breaking Barrera is to the 25, gets spun around by the Eagles and dropped down before the 25. He's going to get, looks like, depending on the forward progress there, 9 yards. But then he had a shirt tackle by the Eagles and almost ripped that jersey off.
And Artesia's starting to feel it right now. they're starting to get a little bit of confidence in the offense here in the second half.
Barrera now with 5 carries for 21 yards. Second down and 1 at the 25 of the Bulldogs at the left hash. 6:15 and counting in the third. 20-7 Artesia. Twins left and right. Taylor by himself in the backfield waiting for the shotgun. We got the whole right side of the defensive line for Hobbs. Well offside on that one.
Yep. That's the thing, man. They got you pumping. They got you going. They know you need to stop. And then all of a sudden they get you to jump off like that.
Worst thing about it, though, is that was a 5-yard penalty, which is a first down now. 6-4 Artesia. They'll have it at their own 30. Again, a shotgun. Hand off to Barrera, left to right. Gets bounced outside of the 30 on the right hash. Tries to cut it back. Gets bounced out to the near sideline. Still dragging people with him to the 39-yard line. He gets 9. Probably should have been stopped about after 3. But no wrap-ups for Hobbs until the last second there.
And even James Moore was just holding on to Jersey at the end. He kind of got lucky. He was able to pull him down because if he'd have let go, he was gone.
Barrera had a couple of 9-yard runs here in the third quarter. He's got 30 yards overall on 6 carries. Second and short from the 39. Twins left and right, shotgun. Taylor wants to pass, fade route on the near side. Wide open, but barely through the fingertips of his intended receiver at the Eagle 30. Wide open, past all defenders that time. And if they'd just been a little bit shorter there, maybe by about a half a yard, that would have been a touchdown for the Bulldogs. But, boy, the Eagle secondary got burned bad on that one, and that was a intended pass there. To Peyton Deans.
Somebody lost coverage there. I mean, it was Palma and Chisholm over there, and I'm not sure which one, but one of them lost their coverage.
Artesia now 12 of 20 in the passing game. Third down and 10 from the 40. High snap, and they're going to go with the draw. Hand it off around the left side to Barrera. Gets shut down quickly. Gets 1 yard on the forward progress. But meets a lot of white and black jerseys for the Hobbs Eagles. Actually, it's just mostly white and gold on those jerseys, the black helmets. Wrap up for Hobbs by the linebacker Kenyon Singleton.
Yeah, unfortunately, he had just enough to get the first down.
So move the chains for the Bulldogs. That's their 7th first. And that'll bring it to the 41.
Bulldogs eating up a lot of clock here in this third quarter, too.
Yeah, down to 5:20 left, 20-7 Artesia. First and 10 from the 41. Back to pass Taylor. Stays pocket, now flushed out. Throws it on the side to the 50. Actually, this on his side winder to the 50. Drive to the near side to the 45. We got a penalty marker halfway through the run after the catch.
Yeah, Artesia had 2 guys that peeled out, was blocking behind the play. I'm sure one of them probably got flagged.
Greathouse, the man that made the catch, as he went from left side of the field to the right.
Now this one's going to come back 15 yards.
We'll see where they're going to mark this at. Well, it depends on what kind of – if it was a legal block, it would be 10, but I don't think there was anything violent about it. But
I thought it was helmet to helmet behind the play, but we'll see.
Committee's going to discuss it here at about the midfield stripe. Whitecap will give us a signal and see what we got. Got a holding penalty against Hobbs. Defensive holding. No, wait.
Offsetting penalties.
What was the second one? I didn't see the second signal there, but holding against the Eagles defensively. So
I think they called holding against the offense as well.
So we're going to reset the play. Waiting for that second call. Legal block, so 10 versus 10 there. That clears it out, and we'll reset. First and 10 from the 41. Right hash. Taylor waiting for the shotgun. He has a couple of slots. Receivers left and right, too. Handoff delay around the end of the 40. To the 30 or 45, and boy, some plow tackling going on for the Eagles as they come up the near sideline. Barrera comes across for, looks like 4. And a couple of guys in there for the Eagles that time getting low and blowing hard. Hector Armendariz was on the initial hit there.
Yeah, Armendariz playing some spirited football out there. Pushed one of the Artesia players after the play. He's trying to get out there and make a play for sure.
Second down and 6 from the 44.5. Back to the shotgun again, Taylor. 2-step drop. Turns and fires. Post route, caught at the 45-40 up the middle, and that will be a first down. As Greathouse, number 80, once again getting it big for him. It'll be about 20 yards for Greathouse. And I'll move the chains once again. Greathouse is the big go-to receiver for Artesia. Quick play. Barrera gets the handoff. He tries to cut up the middle. And that's going to be a 4-yard pickup, and we're starting to see some quick plays here for Artesia.
Oh, yeah, they were following the referees. As soon as that ball was down, they were ready to snap.
Trying to get the Eagles flat-footed out there. Second down and 8. As they'll put it Well, actually, let's see. Yeah, it's going to be at the 33-yard line. Shotgun, back to Taylor at the 40. He'll turn and fire the out route. It's a deflection off the receiver for Artesia at the 30. Bounces high in the air towards the Artesia sideline on the near side off Greathouse. But luckily had enough punch on the football that it went to the sideline instead of up in the air to the Eagles. And out there on coverage once again is Hector Armendariz.
Yeah, and, he was hoping for an interception on that one. That ball popped up. He went diving for it. He wanted that ball.
That'll stop the clock with a 3rd down and 8 from the Eagle 34.5-yard line. Clock stopped with the incomplete pass with 3:42 left, 3rd quarter. Artesia up 20-7. Ready for the shotgun. Taylor, 2-step drop. Flushed out to the left to the far side in front of the Hobbs Eagle bench. Going to throw it on the run on the out route, but it hits hard down at the first down marker, but it was on the base of that marker. No receiver even close. It was out of bounds, basically. And, again, Eagles with some good coverage.
Question is Artesia considering this 4-down territory?
Wait to see what they're going to plan to do here. That does stop the clock once again. A 4th down, facing 8 yards here are the Bulldogs. And, again, just up 13 points. I mean, early on this game was 7-7. That was back in the first quarter. Artesia getting the last 2 scores from the second quarter, both scores there, and they led by 13 at the half. So kind of a stalemate here in the 3rd quarter. 4th down and 8 now from the Eagle 35. Back to passes Taylor. Going to go with the curl route. Caught at the 25 and 20. The Eagles do wrap him up, but that's going to be a 1st down.
And I tell you what, once again on that play, Armendariz coming from the corner position. Once the ball was in the air, Armendariz left the receiver on the far outside, somehow ended up near the play, put a big hit on to make the stop.
So Watson coming up with 12 yards on that catch. Another 1st down. That's 8 total. Hand off to Barrera. But the Eagles say no way on that one as they come in that backfield and squash him down hard. A couple of guys in there on the play from both the line and the linebacking core. 1-2 combination. Kenyon Singleton, the linebacker, and the lineman Gavin Brumley. Of course, Brumley, the big boy, at 6'4", 315. Going to be a 2nd down and 8 now from the 18. Shotgun. Taylor had the jump for it. Hands out to Brera. Gets some open daylight. 15, 10, 5 up the middle and diving for the end zone. Does he make it? Nope. He looks like he might be shy. Gets down to the 1-yard line. 19 yards for Barrera. And just a whisker away from a touchdown.
And they're moving quickly.
9 first downs for the Bulldogs. Trying to add another 13-point lead. High snap again to Taylor. Hands up the middle to Barrera. Tries to dive through the pile. We're waiting for the signal, and it is a touchdown. 1-yard TD for Barrera.
Flag on the far side over there. We got laundry on the field.
At the line of scrimmage, the head linesman there throws the flag, and Coach Maupin has his arms up in the air, wanting to know what the call is. So that would have been a 1-yard touchdown run for Herrera as we're still waiting for the signal here. Not sure what they saw. I mean, if it was a procedure or something on the line, they would have stopped the play. But
they haven't made a call, but I'm sure they stayed at the Holiday Inn Express last night. Let's see what it is.
They're putting the ball back at the 1-yard line, but still waiting for a signal from the Whitecap here, referee. We got an offside penalty, which should have stopped the play, but they let it go. So it's not, half the distance. Really doesn't help you. Or is that, now they're saying 1st down.
Yeah.
Oh, was it 1st down
already?
Yeah,
it was 1st down, so they moved it half the distance. And
so half an inch. So 1st and goal now for Artesia. They'll spread the receivers left and right. Ready for that shotgun is Taylor back at the 5-yard line. He's got 2 split running backs. And the quick snap, that might have been that Dean's kid that got the ball there. But they did that earlier in the game for the touchdown.
Went backwards on that one, lost 2 yards.
Yeah, at least one. Yeah, that was Dean's again. He scored an earlier 1-yard touchdown. So no, -1 on that one. He's got 3 carries for 2 yards, but they've been one of them a score. Back at the 2. 150 and counting. Artesia taking a lot of time off the clock, as you mentioned just recently. 2nd down and goal now from the 2. 3 in the backfield, receiver left and right, shotgun. Taylor started to run a little bit, then he dumps it high over towards the back of the end zone, and up for grabs that time at alley-oop, but ball was knocked down by the Eagles secondary on that last back line.
Now, it may have been Chisholm, the free safety, that was out there on coverage. That's usually his spot that he's covering at.
And a couple of guys kind of squeeze playing the receiver towards the back of the end zone. And kind of a weird play. First Taylor tucks it, runs toward the line of scrimmage and stops quickly and just kind of shot puts it towards the back of the end zone.
Yeah, that's a trick play, but it is a design play.
3rd down and goal now from the 2. Twin receivers on both sides. Waiting for the shotgun is Taylor at the 6. He's going to roll right. I thought he was going to option. Decides to go down low and run it towards the goal line. I don't think he got it. Yes, they do. Late signal by the linesman there. And a score on the 2-yard run for the quarterback as Taylor gets into the end zone.
Yeah, and it's kind of hard to see from this vantage point because the way the checkerboard comes out, it doesn't come all the way to the line. So you're thinking he has to get to the checkerboard, but there's a line before that, and he did cross it.
So 26-7, 19-point lead now for Artesia with that swinging gate formation. They like to run this a lot, then move into that regular formation, but once in a while they're going to try to come out of it and do something. And now everybody's going to get back to the customary setup here as they move out of it. Greathouse, the kicker, also plays receiver for the Bulldogs. Good snap. Kick is up. And the kick is good. 1:28 left, 3rd quarter. Artesia expands the lead to 20 points as they lead 27-7 over the Hobbs Eagles. We've got 1:28 remaining. We'll be back in 30 seconds live on Cool 95.7 and YouTube, home of the Hobbs Eagles.
You're clear. Fifteen. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go.
1:28 left, 3rd quarter. Artesia leads Hobbs 27-7 after a 1-yard run for the quarterback Taylor. A 20-point lead. Eagles ready for the kickoff return. Last production for Hobbs back in the 1st quarter. They had tied it up 7-7. Back deep for the Eagles on the return will be James Moore. He's back at the 7-yard line. As Artesia lining up straight across here. Still waiting for that kickoff. Hobbs will be at home for their first home game of the season. That will be homecoming next Friday against Roswell. End over end, short kick, caught at the 40, fair catch. Didn't see the arms go up that time on the wave, but catch was made nonetheless. As no return indicated there for Corbin Thompson, but Hobbs with good field position at the 40-yard line. But they got a big hole to dig out of, Coach. A 20-point deficit, 27-7, and any special tricks you think in Coach Stevens' bag right now to pull out here?
Yeah, at this point he knows what works. The running game gets him down there. You just got to find that last 5 yards. It's happened twice now.
1st and 10 from the 40 at the left hash. Eagles will get receivers 2 to the left, 1 to the right. Hobbs checking their armbands now for the play call. Graham back at QB at the shotgun. Send a man in motion to the right. They'll throw the screen pass over the head of the motion man, and that was dangerously close to being backward to Royal, and was long toward the far sideline on the right. But it didn't even look like Royal had a chance to get his head up to look back at the football. He was the guy in motion going from left to right of the backfield.
Yeah. Got a score coming in, and this is Raton and Jow. Raton is up 4 touchdowns now. It's 28-0. That game is being played in Tucumcari.
Okay, so partially half the distance there. Hobbs now 5 of 11 in the passing game. They had 95 yards in the first half. They've yet to get any yards in the second, at least in the air. 2nd and 10 now from the 40. 4 on the front line for Artesia on the defense. Trips right, 2 receivers left. Bring a man in motion. And the football around the right end of the 40, 45, 50. Baez into Artesia territory, 40, 35, and brought down at the 33-yard line.
Great run there by Eza. He found the seam, accelerated out, had only one man to beat, couldn't quite keep his feet there, but great job there by Eza.
Biggest run of the game for him, 28 yards. Now is a total of 56 on the ground with 7 carries. 9th first down for the Eagles. And inside Artesia territory at the 36 with the 1st and 10. 106 and ticking here in the 3rd. 27-7 Artesia. Twins right, receiver left. 2 of the backs go on now into receiving cores. Trips right, Twins left. By himself is Graham, but he's waiting for the snap. Nothing coming. And the question is whether Artesia got across that line first before the snap or whether there was a flinch on that right side of the line for the Eagles.
Actually, the left side.
They're going to move
Left
it back,
tackle.
move it back 5 yards. That's 3 penalties for 15 here in the second half, and a total of 55 yards overall with 7 total penalties in the ball game.
Yeah, left tackle there, Lozano, kind of got off his feet and jumped at the same time Artesia was coming. Lozano would have stayed. Artesia probably been the ones that got called.
First down and 15 at the 41 of the Bulldogs. Eagle football, Twins left and right. Ramson's a man in motion. Royal fakes the handoff, back to pass, a fade route to the far sideline, going up high in the air for it and bouncing into the defender at the 20-yard line, incomplete. Good little battle going on out there as a one-on-one coverage. Ethan Van Landingham going up tall against Seth Johnson, the linebacker on that far sideline. He just went up for the alley-oop at the 20, unfortunately got it knocked out of his hands.
And if you lead him just a little bit more on that pass, throw it a little bit deeper, he was actually accelerating past the defender. He might have had a touchdown.
Hobbs now 5 of 12 in the passing game. Second down from the 41. 31 seconds left, third quarter, a 20-point Artesia lead. Twins left and right in the receiving core. They send a man in motion in the backfield. Royal stepping up in the pocket. Graham is going to run at 40, 35, puts his head down to the right hash and is down at the 33. So picks up some of that penalty yardage.
Good job by Graham there, finding the seam. And he's actually a very dangerous runner once he gets past the initial attack.
So it looks like they're going to give him 9 yards on the carry. He's got 16 here in the second half, 23 or 33 overall. Third down and 5 for the Eagles. The handoff down that right hash directly straight ahead for the Eagles into the 24-yard area. Looks like it's going to be a 10-yard pickup.
And that'll end the third quarter here.
That's Baeza on the carry for 10, so that's going to be short of the first down, I believe. He's got a total of 8 carries now for 66 yards, so definitely starting to add some numbers here at the end of the third. So, Coach, 27-7 your score at the end of 3. Eagles got to get some scoring quickly or this game is going to be over.
Yeah, they're moving the ball well. Problem is it's eating the clock because they're having to do it on the ground. We've got to find some way to get that last little push. We've gotten down inside the red zone a couple of times and didn't come away with any points. You got to get something every time you get down there.
We'll take a 30-second break. Hobbs down by 20. Come back with us on Cool 95.7 and YouTube.
Clear. I had to play an ID, so you have 25 from here. $15, $10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome back to the Bulldog Bowl. Your score, Hobbs trailing 27-7 against Artesia. Hobbs trying to threaten here as Hobbs snaps the ball.
Shotgun, back to pass. Grab with the fade route, deep left corner of the end zone, and trying to leach back to catch the ball. They look like a little push-off happened down there, and it looks like Artesia might get a PI. That'll be a 15-yard penalty. Actually, will be a half the distance because it's inside the 30. Colton Graham just sprinted down to the goal line to talk to the official about, they're calling it, what?
Touchdown.
He didn't signal a touchdown. Flags were flying. There was no signal for touchdown in the end zone.
Maybe he came down with the ball.
Yeah, boy. Colton Graham was down there as a lobbyist that time to talk to the official. We saw the flag for sure. We knew that was going to be a PI in the end zone. I'm trying to see who that receiver was, the flat on his back, but he had kind of flopped out and to reach his hand out to try to make the catch about 2 yards into the left side of the end zone that time. Of course, that PI penalty will be declined for the TD. And we're going to have to double check on that with receiver.
Yeah, I'm confused on this one. But whatever it is, Graham knew it. He went running there lobbying for it, and he got what he asked for.
So Hobbs back on the scoreboard since the first quarter now, 27-13. As we await that PAT. Good snap, kick is up, and it is converted by the Eagles, Brian Baeza. So 11:53 remaining here in this fourth quarter, 27-14. Hobbs down by 13. Coming back live at the Bulldog Bowl in Artesia in 60 seconds.
Clear. $30. $15. 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go.
Welcome back, 27-14, your score. Hobbs cutting it down to a 13-point lead, 11:53 on the clock in the fourth quarter. Hobbs is going to be kicking off to Artesia, but they're going to get to move up on the kickoff as the penalty was against Artesia on the touchdown, and Hobbs is going to get much better position kicking off here after the beautiful touchdown catch by Silas Cerna, who went up, and I guess he made a one-hand grab in the back of the end zone while having a penalty against the Artesia Bulldogs.
Yeah, Cerna for 24 yards, and we were waiting because we just thought there would just be a PI there, but the official didn't signal a touchdown. He was the one that made the call there on that far left sideline, the lines judge. But so they take the 15-yard penalty on top of that because you can make the decision on that if you're fouled on a touchdown throw. So 15 yards is going to be marked off, and the kick's going to be made from the 45 of the Bulldogs. Onside kick takes a bounce at the 30, a high one. Artesia able to cover it at the 28. So Hobbs getting some quick coverage on that one, which you would expect on an onside kick. It's some good hands out there. Looks like coming up with it for Artesia was Peyton Deans. So they'll have it around the 28-yard line, 27-14. Artesia up by 13 with 11:50 remaining. And just like to see maybe a turnover here so the Eagles can march in another TD.
We certainly can't sit back in the zone anymore.
So the Bulldogs get their alignment the way they want it, twins left and right. Taylor ready to get the shotgun. Has Barrera back with him. Handoff on the left hash. Goes forward hard to the 33. So he's going to pick up close to 4 on the play for Barrera. He's had quite a few carries third quarter coming to the fourth. 9 carries on the ground, has a long of 19 here in the second half. And we got an update on the score, the Lovington-Roswell score. That's in Lovington tonight. Thanks to Shane Williams back in Hobbs. 17-12, getting a little bit closer there. Roswell by 5, beginning of the fourth quarter.
That's a battle right there.
That's on our sister station, KZOR. 94.1. Second down and 6 from the 33. Back to pass by himself is Taylor. Fires the out route to the 40, far sideline. Extended out to the 44. That will be a first down. 15 on the catch there.
And that's the thing, you kind of line up like you're man-to-man, but you're actually playing zone. Somebody cuts underneath that zone, and they have as much time as they want to throw it.
So Watson looks at 12 on that play. That's his second catch for 24 total for Watson. And that'll be the 10th first down. First and 10 for the Bulldogs at the 44th as they start to chew some clock here. Shotgun back to Taylor. Has plenty of time to throw by himself. The out route to the left side this time. Left block, incomplete, but a great job for the Eagles to come in there and just swipe at it.
Isaiah Montez, number 33. He come up and closed the gap on that guy pretty quick.
Incomplete on that one. And then he did the safe at the plate signal there to make sure everybody knows that no chance for a catch on that one.
Well, everybody wants to be seen, so he got his attention.
Second down and 10 now for the Bulldogs at their own 44. That did stop the clock, though. I said they were trying to run the clock, but this team likes to pass, so they'll try to get as much stats in the books as they can in the air department. Second and 10 from the 44. Twins right and left, making trips left. Shotgun. Again, Taylor by himself in the backfield. He's going to throw the post route down the middle to the 30-yard line, and a bobble by the receiver. Looked like he might have had it for a split second that time, getting into the seam of the defense as they try to get that to Watson, but it comes incomplete at the 38 of the Eagles.
Hector Armandatis on the coverage again. Said his name several times tonight. And when he gets there with a little bit of heat because he wants to put a stick on somebody.
Quite frankly, though, that was in the hands of the receiver who should have probably pulled that one down. But all coming back now to the 44. 3rd down and 10. Artesia football still on their side of the field, leading 27-14 with 10:50 remaining.
Incomplete passes, not much time's going off the clock. A quick stop here. We're back in this game.
Trips left, receiver right. Go with the draw up the right side hash of the 50 is a diving attempt to get the first down. And boy, Herrera went airborne, Superman style at the last bit of that run. And he needed to get 10, and he gets about 11, but that's all because of that nice dive, and he went airborne.
And that's missed tackles because they hit him 5 yards, they hit him at 7 yards, and they hit him again at 10 yards, and he just kept going.
That gets it into our Hobbs territory at the 44, 11th first down for the Bulldogs.
And Singleton's actually gotten a little shaken up there. He kept shaking his leg like he was hurt.
Second double-digit run for Barrera here in this second half. He had a 19-yarder earlier. That was for 11. Again at the Eagle 44 on the right hash, or close to the right hash. Couple receivers left and 2 to the right side. Barrera's going to be in the backfield, left shoulder of his quarterback, Taylor. Has his blitz coming from the right side, and handoff to Barrera, just going to move the pile. And he breaks some tackles and keeps plowing ahead. Hobbs not doing a good job of getting low on him, and he just pulls him down. And with him, that's 8 for Barrera now.
It's arm tackling. They're grabbing at the jersey, and they're trying to hold on instead of putting the helmet right square in the middle of his body.
84 yards on the ground so far for Barrera. He only had 8 at halftime, so 76 here in the second half. Second down and a long 2 for the Bulldogs at the 37 of the Eagles. Again, they lead by 13. 9:38 left in the game. Twins left and right. Taylor back with Barrera once again. This time Barrera on the left shoulder. 2-step drop, make it 4 now. Dump pass to the right side to the 40, 35, 30. And that would be a late flags coming in.
Blocking the back on that far side. This one's coming back.
10-yard pickup that would have moved the chains. And looks the block in the back signal by the couple of officials on that far sideline. So that'll be a 10-yarder marked off against Artesia. That's their 4th penalty here in the second half. For 31 yards, 51 yards overall. Total of 8 penalties against the orange and black. Again, next week we'll be at home. Homecoming at Watson Stadium. First home game of the season, taking on the Roswell Coyotes, who are barely leading over Lovington by 5 in the 4th quarter. That game being played on the blue turf here tonight in Lovington. We'll try to get you some updates on some other scores. Jal's playing tonight as well. They've got Raton on the road. Tatum's going to be playing tomorrow. And we got Eunice still not underway yet because of a thunderstorm. Second down and 6 from the 40. Shotgun by himself is Taylor at the right hash of the 46. He's going to let it fly down the right corner of the end zone. A high one over the shoulder, and it's going to be incomplete. 2 defenders back deep, heading towards that back line of the end zone.
And you did a good job of getting there. They probably got a little bit too much body on the receiver before the ball got there, but Laundry didn't come out.
So incomplete for the Bulldogs. Again, that kind of helps out the Eagles in terms of the clock. It will stop on that one.
Big 3rd down right here.
Sprinting back to that back line for Hobbs on the defense. Let's see who that was out there. I believe that was Evan Ortega. 3rd down and 7.
It's on the turf.
Yeah, the ball's loose. Has it been handed? It's picked up by the Eagles to the 50, 45, 35, 30, down the middle, and knocked down to the 25-yard line. So the fumble recovery around the 40-yard line. So big-time defensive play for the Hobbs Eagles, and getting the number on that right now. It's coming out of the pile. I believe for the Eagles, a recovery by Isaiah Montez, the linebacker. Picked it up around the 33-yard line and scampers all the way down to the 25 of the Bulldogs.
And he goes straight over into the crowd, takes off his helmet for all to see, and then sits down on the bench.
42 yards after the pickup of the fumble for Montez to get it to the 25. That is the second fumble of the game for the Bulldogs, and now the Eagles trying to get back in this one, down by 13 with 8:46 remaining. First and 10 from the 25. Rolling left as Graham wants to throw. Throws an out route. It's picked off at the 15, the INT, 20, 25, 30. Flags are flying, 35, 40, 45, 50. Into Hobbs territory, 30, 20, 10. And that will be it, but there's flags all the way back. And it looks like a few flags at the 20 and 25 on the other end of the field.
And that play at the end of it, after the interception, they hit behind the play, and it was a helmet-to-helmet hit. You know, they're going to count the interception and then take off the penalty from there.
That's the second INT for the Eagles. 3 turnovers already in this ball game. So that will be still, like you said, Artesia football. And it looks like the first flag was dropped at the 17-yard line, the other one at the 22, so they'll probably go to that 17. And if, like you said, legal block would be half the distance, which should be about 8.5, 9-yard line. That's if that is just the 10-yard penalty. Now, anything else, it's a personal foul, still half the distance.
Yeah, that's exactly how they're marking this thing off.
They said they called a holding penalty, it seems like, what I've been hearing up here in the press box. Still waiting for the official signal.
Yeah, he gave the signal over here on the left side of the 30. But let's see how they mark it off.
They're marking it from the 23 is where they're going with it, and that will be a, well,
10-yard penalty.
Yeah, he said 10, but it looked like he marked off 12 there. But they move it back to the 13-yard line, so that is a hold against Artesia. They will get the interception regardless.
Just to let you know, Eunice and Estancia just finally got their game started.
Try to keep you updated on that one. First down and 20 now from the 14 for the Bulldogs. High snap to Taylor, hands it off to Barrera up the middle, and just running the clock here. Gets out close to the 15-yard line. About 2-yard pickup.
And they're going to milk this clock as much as they can right here.
Thought I might have heard another name that was just inserted there that time. We'll double check to see if that was Barrera or not. And they only give him, looks like, 2 yards on that one.
It doesn't look like Barrera. It looks like a different running back out there, smaller running back.
Nope, 24 is out there, so it's Barrera. He got 2 on that one. 2nd and 9 from the 20. Shotgun, back to pass Taylor. He's going to throw the spiral down the seam route to the 50, in and out of the hands. He had a man on his backside that time at the 50-yard line on the near side fade. And the guy on his back for the Eagles defense was Hector Armendariz. That name's been coming up several times. As he lofted it down the field, did Taylor, trying to connect with Julian Rodriguez. Rodriguez is the guy that had that 72-yard pass reception earlier in the contest.
And Armendariz on that one, you know, he's had a good game so far, but on that one he was beat. He was about 5 yards behind, and had he made that catch on the run, I don't think Armendariz would have caught him.
Artesia has completed 4 passes here in the second half for 57 yards. 3rd down and 8 from the 14. In Artesia territory, shotgun to Taylor and a whistle in the backfield. They'll stop the play. And it looks like we've got a delay of game penalty, 5-yarder against the Bulldogs. And that stops the clock with 7:50 left here in the 4th quarter. Eagles trailing 27-14 with the Bulldogs. Artesia trying to even their record to 1-1, losing big last week to Carlsbad. Of course, the Eagles shutting out Clovis 21-0. 3rd down and 14 down from the 10. Shotgun low to Taylor. Dance around the backfield. He's got a lot of pressure. Rolls left to the near sideline. Tries to throw the out route, but throws it in front of his receiver on the near side in front of the Artesia bench. On the left side, that was Cody Watson, the intended receiver. And, boy, a good speed there for Taylor to get away from the pressure and head out to this left side laterally there and left the defense pretty much back in the backfield.
And if he'd have been on target with that pass to the receiver, I think Armendariz would have had a pick 6. He was all over that play.
A lot of teams that try to run clock, but, you know, Artesia not afraid to pass the football with a 13-point lead. 7:43 remaining. 4th down and 14. Definitely going to be a punt situation, but it's going to have to come out of the end zone. Good snap. The punt will be away from the 1-yard line. High in the air for Peyton Deans. Ball takes a bounce at the 35. Still in Artesia land. It'll be tagged down about the 36-yard line. So Hobbs going to get some excellent field position, but it's got to be a quick strike offense, Coach, with only 7:31 remaining.
Yeah, they need 2 touchdowns, 7:31. I mean, we're not in the danger zone yet, but we'll get there soon if we're not careful.
Maybe not the danger zone, but we need to get in the end zone at this point with a, like you mentioned, 2-possession ball game. It's at the 36 of the Bulldogs near the left hash. Eagles team all looking at the sideline for Coach Stevens in the signal here. Again, a 13-point deficit. These teams tend to have some major battles. Last year, Eagles winning 56-27. Year before that, in 2019, Artesia winning 62-28. Shotgun, Graham at the 42. Comeback route, volleyball to himself and a catch at the 39-yard line. Also a lost helmet, too, which is going to cause a one-play departure for the receiver that came up with that one, Evan Ortega. Ortega's going to actually lose yards on the play as he kind of tipped it up in the air. And that's going to be a 3-yard loss. Boy, unfortunate for him. So -2 on that one. Second out and 12. A spin in the backfield for Baeza as he tries to get back to the line of scrimmage up the middle. He'll be lucky to get back to the original. 2-yard pickup for Baeza.
Facing a 3rd and 11 here. I mean, this is 4-down territory for us. Do you try to chop it up into 2 6-yard runs, or you're going to try to go for the first down all at once?
I don't know, but we're right for a big play here to come eventually. I mean, something long possibly they might try. 68 yards on the ground for Baeza. 3rd down and 11. Colton Graham's going to roll light. He is going to try to throw a long out route, and the receiver goes helmet first into the turf. I think he kind of knocked the wind out of himself. Ball in the out route thrown kind of past his fingertips on this right near sideline, and definitely I think he might have tripped just a little bit as he came across and drug out towards the sideline. That pass was intended for Ethan Van Landingham, incomplete.
And with the pressure that he's been under tonight, I think at this point he's trying to get rid of that ball just a little quicker than he should. And he's almost forcing it at this point. He's not been as accurate as he's been the last few games.
Coach, he's only had 1 reception in the second half, -2 at this point. 5-step drop for Graham. He's going to fire it down the out route, but throws it in the turf near the 20-yard line. There's a big battle going on the line of scrimmage in the middle that time and going hard to the ground. Taking the orange man down with him was Mario Lozano, but that was a 4th down situation, and incomplete means turnover on downs. 3rd time that's happened in the game. Couple of punts as well.
And the clock is not our friend at this moment. It's working against us.
Well, but Artesia is a team that doesn't really do that, just hand the football off to run the clock out. I mean, they're going to throw 2 and some incomplete, stopping the clock.
I mean, they're a lot more balanced this game because they're ahead, and they have been running the ball. Barrera's kind of been a beast here in the second half.
1st and 10 from the 37 of the Bulldogs. Shotgun to Taylor. Hands off to Barrera. Angle right to the 40, to the far sideline, and gets down at the 43. As he'll pick up a 7-yard pickup there.
And at that point, now they got a 2nd and 4. They've kind of got you on your heels. You don't want to give up a first down here, but they can actually throw it over top of you if they want. So kind of scary situation for us here.
Barrera had 3 carries in the first half, 13 in the second half. So he's really starting to get himself untracked as we continue on in this game. 2nd down and 4 now from the 43 of the Bulldogs on the right hash. Eagles have 4 in the box. And then to Barrera, he's going to hippity-hop his way over to the right hash and head out to the 45. So he picks up a couple extra 2 there. Clock down to 5:27 left here in the 4th quarter.
3rd and 1. This may be a big play.
Of course, the Bulldogs have had a couple of fumbles in this contest. And a couple of them based on strips, basically. The Eagles getting a piece of the football. And a big return at one point. But got to get aggressive on that line of scrimmage and punch through. Artesia is not a team to buckle down and let you do what you want against him. Ready for the shotgun is Taylor back at the 40. He's got Brera on his left shoulder, and the Eagles get a big jump, but I guess they're going to say they didn't cross the line of scrimmage on that. Handoff up the middle. Brera gets across the 50, 45 into Hobbs Eagle territory, down to the right hash. 11 on the carry for him that time for Barrera. That's his 3rd double-digit run of the second half, and the 12th first down for the orange and black.
And that first down buys them more time on coming off the clock. Clock's going to be running. At this point, we're probably down to about 3 minutes after this possession if we get them stopped on fourth down.
Inside the 45-yard line are the Bulldogs. Again, they weren't too happy with campers after last week's 31-6 loss to Carlsbad. In fact, their only score of the game was with 1:09 left in the second quarter. Nothing in the second half. 1st and 10 from the 44.5. Shotgun, Taylor, options left. Herrera to the 40, Barrera 35, and Lungig trying to get that extra yard. He's done that a couple of times tonight. They have him wrapped up from behind. He still thrusts his body and goes airborne, and he's going to be – Chisholm's the guy that wraps him up. But it looks like he's going to be very close to that first down, maybe 9.5 on that one.
And that's the third time this game they've run speed option, had 2 big runs and then once for a touchdown.
Ball right at the 35-yard line, left hash, 2nd down and 1. Artesia's starting to take time in the huddle, so that's changed a little bit. We've seen a lot of hurry-up offense for them in this game, and they realize they've only got 3:39 to tick off here to hold on to a 13-point victory. Pair of receivers right and left, 2nd down and 1 from the 35. Twins left and right, hand off to Barrera up the gut to the 30, breaks across there to the 28, and that will be a first down.
At this point, our linebackers are kind of playing on their heels. They're collecting blocks instead of filling the holes. And they were kind of waiting to see what Artesia was going instead of coming forward and not getting up and down the field.
5-yard pickup for Barrera, and that is the 13th first down. Of course, Coach Moppin for the Bulldogs, a former player for this squad. And, boy, it seems like a lot of schools around the state pick up Artesia football assistants. You see all the time. I mean, very well-respected program when it comes to the sport.
Yeah, when you think about football, in New Mexico, they're one of the kings. I mean, they've worn the crown quite a few times.
1st and 10 now from the 28. Taylor takes a way high snap, pulls it down with one arm, back at the 40. Shot puts it to the left flat, and the ball is loose out of the hands of the running back. Looks like Barrera, or correction, no, that wasn't Barrera. That was number 80. That's Greathouse. And he's lucky that ball was actually thrown a little bit forward. It was close to being a backward pass, but got his hand on it, kind of swatted down on the football, and incomplete.
That stops the clock. It's 2:39 showing on there right now. At this point, we got to force a turnover.
We talked about in the pregame show, Coach, that pretty young and green secondary. How do you think they've fared against Artesia in this one?
I think they've been pretty solid, but you're giving them all the extra opportunities with the turnovers.
2nd down and 10 from the 28. Shotgunning snap to Taylor. Draw play up the middle. Scampering around to the 25, down to the 20. Zigzagging back and forth that time. Barrera once again. He's got 8 on that one. You're kind of surprised they're not handing it off to anybody else. I mean, they got a lead by 13 and get some more guys some handoffs there.
Yeah, maybe they don't quite feel this game's over.
Starting to knock at the door, though, with the point of the football on the 20-yard line, left hash. 3rd down and 2 now for the Bulldogs. 2:06 and ticking here, and they're all looking at the sideline now to Coach Moppin and know that they want to keep this clock moving. And an extra touchdown here, icing on the cake. Twins left and right. Taylor takes his time here to get the snap. High one over his head. It's going to take a roll to the 40. Eagles going to scoop it up on the run to the 50 into Artesia territory and brought back to the 38-yard line. So just what the doctor ordered for the Eagles to get the turnover, scooping it up and taking a big run, Isaiah Montez.
And Montez gets up, and he's running toward the sidelines, tosses the ball right into an Artesia player's helmet, and that's going to draw 15 yards.
Oh, yeah, that's the flags are flown to the 35, so that was in Artesia territory. That's going to bring him back to the 50-yard line, midfield. That was the 3rd fumble of the ball game for Artesia, but still has a 13-point lead.
Yeah. And that's one where you have the big play you needed. You got the turnover you needed. You're in position where you can score quickly and maybe get an onside kick. And then here we go. We march it back 15 yards. I'm not certain he did it on purpose. It didn't look like he was targeting the person, but he certainly didn't know where that ball was going when he tossed it.
8 penalties for the Eagles in this one, and a total of 70 yards with flags as they back it up to that mid-stripe of the 50. 1:42, clock stopped. 27-14 Artesia, 13-point lead. Eagles look to the sideline for the play call, and they get their receivers out 2 apiece left and right. Ready for the shotgun is Graham. Takes a good snap, two-step drop. Going to fire the long out route to the 45. Artesia 40, far side 35, 30, spin move, 25, and the 23-yard line. 27 yards to Baeza that time for the Eagles. He's sprinting hard to get back. He knows he's got to get this play going as quick as possible. So Baeza with 27 on the play.
And, of course, I noticed the clock started rolling before even the referee signaled.
That's just the second completion here in the second half. 10 first downs for the Eagles. Back to pass on the 25 is Graham. Floats it out to the 5 on the far side, fade, and that should be another first down.
That'll stop the clock as well, 1:13, because they're going to say he was out of bounds.
That's a 20-yard pickup for Hobbs and run the chains once again. As the catch made that time for Silas Cerna. Another first down for 11 total for the Eagles. 8th completion. They've got it now at the 4, first and goal. There comes Graham heading right on the angle and takes a pile on top of him. Trying to get to the line of scrimmage there, but tried to string it out the best he could.
51 seconds on the clock, and we're going to get a timeout.
Did he get a yard on that forward progress? Looks like they did give him 1 on the play, so Graham will pick up the carry. That's for him. 34 yards on the ground on 12 carries. He had 17 at the half. We'll take a 30-second break. 51 seconds remaining here at the Bulldog Bowl. The Artesia home squad up 27-14 over your Hobbs Eagles.
You're clear. You got 30. $15. 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go.
Welcome back to the Bulldog Bowl. 27-14, 51 seconds on the clock, but Hobbs threatening to score. They're on the 2-yard line, trying to punch it in, and here's Ty Friend.
Second down and goal from the 2. 13-point deficit, but of course they're going to have an onside kick coming. You can expect here after scoring, which is what their plan is at this point. Second and goal from the 2. Everybody's lined up now with a couple of receivers left, one to the right side. Shotgun to himself, rolling left is Colton Graham. Stutter steps at the left hash, gets hit hard. Did he get rid of the football? Yes, he did, but it's going to take a roll in the back of the end zone. He just got waylaid that time. Receiver was kind of fading to the left corner. Ball ends up being almost midway in the end zone, but it's a wobbler. I think that might have just got knocked up in the air as he took a major shot in the backfield. So incomplete on that one for the Eagles. And that'll stop the clock, though. Third down and goal from the 2. Eagles break the huddle, get back up the line of scrimmage. Twins right, receiver left, shotgun, split formation backfield. They give the handoff up the gut, and there might have been a strip. No, they're going to have a wrap-up instead. I thought the ball might have come loose. 4 or 5 Artesia players on top of the running back that time and swamped him. That was Royal. And that dropped him all the way back to the 14, but I think they're going to give him some forward progress on that one. They had 5 orange jerseys on top of Royal. Where do they mark that one, Coach? Are they bringing it all the way? Oh, I guess they're going to say he got to the line of scrimmage, but they ran him all the way back to about the 15, 16-yard line. So no gain on the play for Royal as he met a brick wall that time.
Yeah, and even though the timeout on the field, I just thought it was funny that, you know, they called the timeout immediately as soon as the play was over, but they'd already set the play clock and they had things rolling ready to go, not realizing there's a timeout on the field.
33 seconds left. Hobbs looking to try to get their second win on the season. Now, last spring, I keep saying last year, but just a few months back, they won 56-27. Artesia won in 2019, 62-28. Hobbs back in 2018 and 17, 42-37 and 56-49. Artesia won the 2 previous matchups in 15 and 16, 38-28 and 56-28. So there's been a lot of pairs of wins for teams. Nobody's made it to the 3-win-in-a-row mark from as far back as I can go, at least 10, 15 years. Shotgun, Graham back to pass. He's going to throw the out route to the 1 yard in the end zone right side, but it goes in and out of the hands of the intended receiver. And so the Eagles cannot come down with it. That's the fourth down play. Unfortunately, incomplete to Ethan Van Landingham, and that will turn over on downs again to Artesia, the fourth time that's happened in this ball game. Good effort there by Van Landingham. Got turned around on the swivel that time, and ball kind of hit towards his chest pad and bounced off.
And for the third time in the game, we got inside the 5-yard line and ended up with no points.
28 seconds left. More than likely just a kneel down for the Bulldogs. They will go to 1-1 on the season. Eagles will drop to 1-1. Of course, Roswell next Friday night for homecoming at Watson Stadium, the home opener. Taylor will take a knee and takes about a yard drop for the loss on that one. Get the clock running once again. Close game through much of this one, 7-7 in the first quarter. Couple of touchdowns for Artesia in the second. They led 20-7 at the half. So they only scored once in this second half, and Eagles scoring one as well. Another kneel down. That's going to be the ball game. So Hobbs, unfortunately, losing tonight at the Bulldog Bowl in Artesia, 27-14. We'll come back in 3 minutes for the Hobbs Eagle postgame show on Cool 95.7 and YouTube.
Clear. You got 3. Two. One minute. $30. 15. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go.
Welcome back to the Bulldog Bowl. Your final score, 27-14. The Artesia Bulldogs are beating the Hobbs Eagles tonight. And one of those games, Hobbs Eagles had 3 opportunities inside the 5-yard line, and all 3 of those opportunities ended up in a turnover on downs, and the Eagles couldn't come away with points and ended up dropping this one by 13. You know, Ty, we look at this game and we look at all the opportunities we had and the turnovers we had. You know, offense looked good in quite a few stretches, But passing the ball, we struggled a bit. A lot of pressure on the quarterback, and those turnovers certainly hurt us.
Yeah, definitely did. And some key ones, too. Big returns coming after those, and the interceptions that did occur. Eagles giving up 2 INTs, a fumble on that first kickoff return, gave our Bulldogs the football deep in Hobbs Eagle territory. Hobbs had 4 turnovers on downs and a couple of punts as well. And there's some bright spots, too, of course. We saw a couple guys running the football pretty well tonight. Baeza was 68 yards, 61 for Royals. So those 2 guys are definitely stepping up for the Eagles' cause. And Eagles still missing 5 starters from last week, and one of those a pretty big rusher from the backfield and receiver threat. So that's definitely going to be something to look forward to. Like you said, when you have mistakes, especially against a team like Artesia, they're going to make you pay for it. They're not a team that's just going to be happy with a 7-point lead. They're going to continue to throw the football at you. They're going to roll out, get some receivers open down the field, and you get kind of tired when you're in the secondary playing against a team like that.
Especially when you keep giving them extra opportunities. Early on, they got quite a few stops. They looked really good defensively early on. We're getting pressure on the quarterback. But as the game wore on and you kept giving Artesia more offensive series, you could tell that defensive line started to wear down. They weren't getting the same pressure in the second half and gave the quarterback time to sit back there and just pick apart the Hobbs secondary.
Final score once again tonight, 27-14. The Bulldogs go to 1-1 on the season. The Eagles drop to 1-1. We're going to take a final 2-minute break and wrap it up here with the stats from the Bulldog Bowl in Artesia, live on Cool 95.7 and YouTube, the home of the Hobbs Eagles.
Clear, you got 2. One minute. $30. 15. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go.
Welcome back to the Bulldog Bowl. Hobbs Eagles have lost to the Artesia Bulldogs 27-13 tonight, and Ty, 27-14. Ty, we looked at this game, we looked at the turnovers, we looked at the stats. So many things that we did right and didn't come away with the victory. But you talked about it. We were missing 5 players, and we get those 5 players back. We may look like a completely different team. And in the end game, you're not really looking to win as much early in the season as you want to make a deep run late. This may be an investment to the depth of the team that really may pay off come playoff time.
Yeah, especially in the backfield. There's a lot of guys that get touches in this game. And, of course, Trevino's a big name that everybody talks about and came into this, this season thinking he was going to be a major part of the action. But, of course, we'll hopefully get him back soon, a couple other guys with him as well. So, again, but you got to play with the personnel that you got and some guys that are stepping up. First, let's look at the numbers for Artesia. Their big rusher tonight, of course, is Barrera. 21 carries, 128 yards. 120 of those, Coach, in the second half. He had 3 carries in the first half, 18 in the second. So they really went to him, the bread and butter there in the running game, for at least that part of the offense.
Yeah, and he did a great job of eating the clock in the second half. And he's not a guy you're going to bring down unless you get a body on him. We tried to arm tackle him way too many times, and he had quite a few of those yards after first contact.
So he definitely is the workhorse for him. Nobody else really getting big numbers. Dean's 3 carries for 2, and actually Taylor was negative when it came to the running game, but he was dropped in the backfield about 3 times with the Hobbs Eagle defense. Passing, so a total of the 127 yards in the rushing tonight for Artesia. Several receivers getting involved in this game, 7 to be exact. They did complete 15 passes in the contest. Greathouse with 5 for 85 yards. He had a 33-yard screen pass for a touchdown completed as well. Also getting part of the action in this one for Artesia was Jake Barrera coming out of the backfield. 3 catches for 16 yards, all coming in the first half. Hamilton pulled one down for 6 yards. Zayden Lopez had 3 catches for 25 yards in the game. Rodriguez, the longest catch of the night, actually a catch and a run there, 1 for 72. And let's see, I got one more here. Looks like number 15, Fierro finished with 2 catches for 24 yards. Actually, it was Wilson, 2 catches for 24 yards. So a total of, 15 receptions and a total of 228 yards in the air unofficially. So a 355 with the run and the pass added together for this ball game for Artesia. 10 penalties for 66 yards. They had a total of 13 first downs in the game as well, but they did have 3 fumbles, Coach. Also turnover on downs and a punt, so Eagles were getting the ball away from them at several times in this game.
Oh, yeah, we had opportunities. I mean, it wasn't as if this was one game where we got blown out. This was one game where we had opportunities. We had dinner on the plate. Unfortunately, we just let it get away.
Offensively for the Eagles, several people getting quite a few carries in this game. In fact, 2 had 12 each. Royal, 12 carries for 61 yards. His long was a couple of 13s in the second half. Also, Colton Graham, the quarterback, of course, 12 carries for 34 yards with a long of 15, including that touchdown early. Corbin Thompson, 5 carries for 37 yards. He had a long of 13. And it was Baeza with 9 carries for 68. He was the leader on the contest with the running game. His big was 28 in the second half. And Kirkendall had 1 carry for 2 yards. So Eagles finishing up 202 yards on the ground. Some pretty big numbers. We're starting to see the evolution of the passing game for quite a few years under a couple different coaches. And then all of a sudden now the running game is starting to emerge.
Yeah, it is great to see the running game emerge because you get ahead in games, you know you have a way to finish it off. And it looked really solid. They were getting 6-7 yards a carry, but having to punch it in right when we get into the red zone. That's going to be the key. We figured out how to move it the length of the field. Now we got to get those last 5 yards.
In terms of the offense passing game here in this contest, leading catches from Thompson, Corbin Thompson, 2 for 86 yards, 1 for 41, and 1 for 45. So he's got the big numbers there. Senya had 2 catches for 44 yards. A couple other guys getting involved. Diego Baeza, he had a catch for 27 yards in this ball game. It was Easton Kirkendall, 1 catch for 2 yards. And not leaving out anybody here, Ethan Van Landingham had 1 for 10 on that one. And that's it for the positive catches in this game. Hobbs converting on 9 receptions on 19 attempts. And a total of 164 yards in the air. So 202 in the rushing game, 164 passing for 366. And he lost by 13. It seems kind of hard to believe that. 366 compared to 355 for Artesia, but they get 13 more points on the scoreboard.
Yep, and it comes down to turnover special teams. You know, you have the turnovers and you have the opportunities left. Said it over again. I know I'm repeating myself, but it's pretty obvious to me where this game lied.
Eagles with 8 penalties for 70 yards. They had 11 first downs, so that's pretty close to what Artesia had with 13. Eagles had 3 turnovers, 2 interceptions, a fumble, punted a couple of times, and had 4 turnovers on downs. And you keep mentioning that, too, in terms of taking care of business towards the end when you're trying to get some scores in the end zone.
Yeah, it's true. And, you know, we look at that. We look at those opportunities that you pick up 2 of the 3 opportunities even, and this is a 1-point ball game where your extra points could have won it for you. I really like the effort of some of the players on the field today. Singleton, sticks out in my mind. Hector Armendariz, a name that we didn't really say much in the first week, saw him all over the field, and it was nice to see him contributing and coming up, and didn't really hear the defensive lineman's name get called much at all tonight. I mean, we did see Hensley make a play at one point Brumley make a play at one point that got his name called, but we didn't really talk about the defensive line, and that tells me that the defensive line became a non-factor late in the game, and they weren't really getting pressure on the quarterback.
Yeah, he had a lot of time to just kind of gauge who was open. 1, 2, 3 looks down the field. A lot of different receivers to look for in this ball game. That pretty much wraps up the numbers in the contest. So the Eagles, fortunately, losing by 13 in this one, 27-14. Do have a score update, final coming in from Raton tonight. You said that was played in Tucumcari. Raton defeats Jal 35-7, so Panthers are now 1-1 on the season. Raton beat Eunice last week, and now Jal, so they're having a little Lee County festival, I guess. Eunice and Estancia, you think we're underway. We haven't got any score updates on that one yet. Tatum will play tomorrow, so they have no game. Last we heard from the Roswell-Lovington matchup, Roswell was up by 5 in the fourth quarter, so very close game in that one. Of course, the next game for the Eagles is Roswell. That'll be next Friday night. Homecoming at Watson, first game of the home season there. A big game against a team that had a championship a couple years ago. They've been kind of up and down the last season or so, but, of course, it's been kind of crazy for everybody with this COVID situation out there.
Yeah, I don't put much factor into what we did last year. What you're working toward this year is the big thing, and with what our coaching staff's trying to do after a game like this, you know what, you may lose the game, but you can't lose the lesson. And I hope that he takes that in that locker room and they instill themselves the importance of not turning the ball over and finishing drives.
Final score once again tonight here from the Bulldog Bowl in Artesia. It's the Bulldogs 27, your Hobbs Eagles 14. Next Friday night, we'll be on the air at 6:45 with the pregame. Kickoff at 7 as the Eagles take on Roswell for the homecoming game. Don't forget the homecoming parade on Friday at 4 o'clock. So that should be a lot of fun in downtown Hobbs, and fans come out and support your Hobbs Eagles in action. I'd like to thank Alan Scott back at the station, backing us up tonight. He's the voice of the Tatum Coyotes, and he'll be giving some football here in the next couple of weeks as well. I'd like to thank Coach Coltrane along with myself, Ty Friend, and we will see you next Friday with more Hobbs Eagle football on Cool 95.7 and on YouTube.com, the home of the Hobbs Eagles. Have a great weekend out there.
You're done. Great job. Have a safe trip. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Good night, Alan.